चक्रवडङ्कितरत्नसुपादो लक्खनमण्डित आयतपाणि चामरछत्र विभूषित पादो ईसा हि तुय पिता नारसिंहो सक्के कुमार वारो सुखुमालो लक्खन.
This must be the third time, I think, in my, whole life I have been putting this, I don't know, some gadget here. Things are so allergic to all these modern gadgets. Well, they're okay, they're not that bad. But only thing, from the time I had certain experience when I was a young boy in South Africa, in Lesotho, I don't know whether you know Lesotho. When I had this inspiring experience as to the nature of the reality of things going on. I was interested in physics, but it brought this perception which made me see that everything is going to pass away and it's not going to last very long. From that time I was inspired to be a monk, and from that time onwards all my way of thinking was becoming ancient or little so after that I was rejecting all these things. As a monk also I met a ascetic venerable in Sri Lanka who was a German monk. Thing is, it's a little bit unusual for me to speak in English after a long time speaking in English. So it's it's a bit, I don't know. One time I couldn't speak in our own language. Now anyway, my memory might work. Anyway, when I got to know I'm coming to Australia, I thought I'll be speaking more English, but only today I'm speaking English after 2 days of. But whatever it is, I was really thinking, there's the Australian community, the people, the local people, I don't know, the Australians. I was wondering why few of them are here, Maybe in other places there must be. Because I thought this Dhamma is like a, medicine. It is like a medicine for cancer. And medicine for cancer, because our cancer is our defilements. That's more cancerous than any other thing, our mental, sort of negative ways of thinking and behavior. And it makes us, suffer so much. So, when I was in the airport, just when I was coming, I had to stop at Singapore. When I was there on transit, that occasion, I was looking for my gate number, I think, and then I met this suddenly just Sri Lankan gentleman who was going to, I think, here, the same place, and he asked me, "Can I help you, Venerable?" Okay, I said yes. I'm looking. He said I'm going the same place, and he guided me. But I found him; he was in a state of depression, in a state of despair, something. Then he just started to speak to me, and he told me, "Venerable, my mother has passed away, and I just finished my religious ceremonies in Sri Lanka, but everything seemed to be upside down. Like his sister has taken over the home and the house and things like that." And then he said, "Oh well, I don't know what to do. I have not done anything wrong, but I don't know why they are reacting like that and how it happened like that." Then I said, "Yeah, well," but then I told him, "Can you see me? Can you just see me now?" And then he said, "Yes, sir, I can see you. You're standing in front of me." I said, "That is only real now. All other things are just past, is gone. This is your wrong way of thinking. You have learned to think in a way that makes you suffer. You have not learned to think in a way that makes you free from suffering. Suffering is not something external in objects or things like that, or persons, or places. It is something the way we think, my friend. But I must tell you before I come here, you might be meeting many people. That's the reason I never want to come to foreign countries, really, after South Africa, Lesotho. Because I see people who want to come to foreign countries are because of desires. And especially monks who want to teach the Dhamma. They are the ones who are guiding people to find happiness in desirelessness. And I don't want to be a monk who, anyway, long time ago they invited me to come to States. That time I was striving or practicing with my teacher in the forest. And then I told them, actually I will come when I become an arahant. You know arahant? I become fully enlightened. Actually I was serious about it. Anyway, time went by, but my teacher taught us also not to target states, or even if you feel something you have attained, not to say it to yourself because it may be wrong. Just to check whether the symptoms are getting, like whether you're getting less angry and less greedy. This is the only yardstick we have to really find how far we are progressing. So anyway, my time went by, and when I was 40 years old, 2012, I came to the public in Sri Lanka. It was not planned or anything, but I go to Himalayas actually very much. I don't know my profile. Their profile. I don't think no one knows me, properly. Tell you honestly, but nobody needs to know. There's nobody here. So anyway, Sri Lanka also, they only know here and there because they was not allowing any records to be done like this. Now only they're having YouTube, and they're sending it like that. Because there was a reason, I didn't want to even my teacher was a solitary monk. So anyway, in 2012 I came to this, in Sri Lanka because people are seated with me for 8 hours. Just they want to listen, just talking to me. And I was wondering what, they feel peaceful while they're listening. So I thought, why not I have a meditation? So after 3-4 days, I told my the temple, whoever the manager, I told him I'm going to have a meditation program at 4 o'clock at such and such a date. I think 3-4 days later. So then they had 60 seats or cushions, and when that day came, there was just people coming and coming and coming, and it was like there's no room, no space, nowhere. So there's no posters, nothing. It was something very interesting. So that's how I came to the public in Sri Lanka slowly. But still I was running away to train myself. And 2014, I used to go every year to Kailash, Manasarova. I don't know whether you know this area. From young age, I was attracted to Himalayas. So in the young age, before monk, as a yogi, I used to go to Badrinath. I don't know, from Rishikesh to Badri, bordering Tibet border. And one cave I used to stay some time back. Anyway, so this time I came to the public. But I must tell you one thing, because now you all are here. 2014, I had slightly the altitude sickness. I don't know whether you know about it. High altitude, no oxygen, and water goes to your brain, and you get headache, severe. But you can die with that. So I really felt there was a point where I had to, while I was doing Kora, I don't know whether you know about Kora, means going around the Kailash mountain. I had a tough time. I didn't think I can make it, and I really thanked my parents to give me this body. And I just moved, walked, and the guide was there, the driver and the guide. But anyway, I made it, but it was tough. There was a lot of difficulty. I thought I would lose my life anytime. But okay, that was okay. But 2015, I had altitude sickness again. there was earthquake in what is this place, Nepal. I went to see some of my friends who helped me, but then suddenly I realized I can go to Kailash, and then I immediately went there. So I was meditating in a cave in what is this place, Manasarova. I like caves very much. And there, after that, I had a bath in a hot water spring. Suddenly this contrast maybe, something happened. I knew I got altitude sickness. I was feeling uneasy, and suddenly I was feeling breathlessness. And this was a terrible situation. And terrible means I was slowly losing strength. Like I couldn't lift my hand even. Just, I felt so something. And losing, and I had to go and tell my guide. They had not brought oxygen. They thought I was really fit, and also it was their mistake in a way. So they contacted some place, another village or somewhere, and then a local doctor came and 12 o'clock. But I was, I was like, like I didn't know how long I can go. Like you run a marathon. And finally, I was hanging. My life was hanging. And that time, normally this has happened 3-4 times, but there have been a practice always where I daily do, which we learn to observe ourselves, so that we observe what dies, and what dies is not really ours. But if you only observe it, only you can notice it, and then you can let go that, or be an observer, not just identify with it. But if you don't observe, you'll identify with that. So anyway, there's a practice, this ancient text of the Buddha. It's the ancient practice of watching the skandhas, they call it. Those are the parts of you, who you call you. What the idea of identity, the idea of I comes with associating these substances, actually, these aggregates, they call it. That is the body. Now we have the electrons, the sort of atomic way of looking at it. But in old times, there is also the bhuta, the elements, the hard nature, as nature-wise, hard, soft, the watery, fluid, like that. So when you look at it, these are the ones. Then this is based on this body only. We have consciousness as a basis, and in a moment of consciousness, Buddha has broken down the factors in the consciousness. Because of his enlightenment, he knows exactly the different factors in a moment of consciousness. There is feeling, there is perception, when you judge what is it, or make some notice what it is, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And there's reaction to what is, if you perceive it as pleasant, with greed, and if it's unpleasant, with aversion, and if it's neutral, with ignorance, if you're not enlightened about those feelings. So this reaction is called sankhara. This happens in every moment, whether when you're looking, hearing, this happens. So there's a way of watching these things, where you observe these things. You don't observe really in them in detail. You just, I don't know how, approximately, this perception happens, feeling happens, like that. But because when you really realize it, you experience the impermanence of it. You don't notice any parts like that. When you had a sort of idea in your mind that this changed, this passed away, then you have actually grasped it in a certain form. But if you have a full grasp, you will have the full experience of impermanence, as a realization, not as some kind of flux seeing in the mind. No, it doesn't happen. It's a kind of intuition, actually. So this practice, we were trained by our teacher, actually. So that if I'm going to die now, I definitely want to be doing that. So that time in Manasarova, when I was feeling I'm going to leave, I happened to observe this. Before observing that, first thought came, I couldn't share with the people enough. Because all these years, I was trying to be more perfect and then to do something for everybody. And then, so I felt these things, even what I was doing when I had to face death, I couldn't really teach the people or share it properly. So then I thought to myself, can't help it now. Just now, you can't help it. I will now prepare for this. So like this, so this is one of the main reasons I'm here now. This is one of the main reasons I'm here. And so this year I was sort of accepting all the invitations, and one of the first ones to a foreign country was Australia. So, but still, even the last night before I left from Sri Lanka, I had misgivings or misfeeling. I mean, because I feel guilty. I am not perfect. There's certain things I feel that crops up again and again. So one has to have patience and one has to do the remedy. And today especially, I must tell, this is very important, I think. Normally I need, because normally my programs are like, I call it like a meditation. I have made it in, but he told me we can't do this. I call it like I make it a meditation rock concert, This is how it is like that. This is how I do it for myself. It's not something, this thing is something energetic and giving you some power. So the atmosphere, we couldn't create it. I mean, if you came to what is this place, there's a barrack, no? Barrack, I'm staying. So they were prepared for that. Because there's another technique I want to tell really. Because there should be a lot of people meditating. Unfortunately, it has become like a bitter medicine. You have not learned to make it tasty, like Chinese food. I don't know. You see, you have to make it spicy, or Indian food. And Western healthy food, okay? Western food is healthy, right? I mean, I think it's really good, boiled vegetables, and ours are really dangerous, only taste for the mind, but dangerous, poison for the body. But anyway, I think you have to learn to do this, So initially we need an element of because we can't be just dry intellectual, dry observers. It's not Buddha, it's not like that, Buddha is he's fully with everything. He's not like Bertrand Russell or somebody. I don't see him like that. No. He's, I think, someone, really, I can't really talk about him. Someone I don't think we can ever compare, but when we read the sutras, the original teachings, and we can get some idea. In the very presence of him, his radiance, they say normally for 1 kilometer, it happened to, spread out. That is the compassion. That compassion, and compassion is a person who has a heart, he must be having a super heart. And that's why normally I think Dalai Lama is very much loved by people. I think I don't know, maybe coming to Australia too. Because that very compassion is a very big thing. It's one part of the Buddha's, basic. He became Buddha because based on that compassion behind it. His wisdom is all about coming out of compassion, not any kind of wisdom, but wisdom that will, it's like solve the sufferings of living beings. It's not just some kind of curiosity or some. So anyway, you have to learn to make the spiritual things tasty. So for that, I can't talk about it. That's why I do it. So when I have a control over a program, when people ask me how the program should be, I would tell them, and it's quite new to them and little bit. And because this is not something. I have done it in a small way, but I need, in the modern day and age, people need it more. Because they're coming with a lot of distracting and disturbing environments. They're not just coming from some tranquil village somewhere, There's too many sense stimulation and too many, you could say, energy losses, if you call it that way. Actually, ways of draining your energy. I will tell them now, before I tell how to make tasty this meditation. One important thing is, today the internet is a big thing. And I made this research because luckily 3 days back I happened to tell about these things, and 3 days, yesterday, I don't want to tell because these people, they should be private about a person, they came to me and they told, Bhante, you talked about certain thing, and well, later on this certain temptation came, and I knew there was some negative thing happening to me, that's why I just managed to avoid it. So then I thought, my goodness, I must stress this more, because this is something people are facing too much. But I'm sure all of you all are educated and open, not narrow-minded, so you all could. But I wish this knowledge, I got it when I was their age, really. I was in these high schools, of course, nothing, in those it's international schools in Lesotho. So I don't know how I saved myself, because there, after age of 14, 15, I don't know how it is, embarrassing to tell. If you have not spent your time with another classmate, it's like something wrong with you. So I used to do all these sports and everything, but I had some shyness, and that saved me. And even the discos or the parties they had in Fridays and all that, I used to like to go, but it was I felt shy to ask my father for money for the ticket for the disco, because I knew what was going on in the disco when they used to come. And so because of that shyness, it saved me. I mean, I could have not come today like this, or I would have been a monk even, because I would have had so much disturbing thoughts, though even I like to be a monk, because of what I have been doing. So anyway, and one day I never forget, I used to like one girl, I remember, her name was Charlotte, I think, from England, I think. So I used to look at her from far away, but there was no guts for me to, never. So anyway, one day she came to, she also didn't have guts, because I had some personality due to, it's very funny, all the others were going to parties and all that, but because I didn't do this, there was some power, I think. The teachers used to also write, they used to notice this, that even in sports stamina, like cross country, all these African boys, I used to, and javelin and all these things. So they used to ask, what do you eat? But I realized, because I refrained from these things out of shyness actually, this gave me something. But nobody told this specially. There was no class for this. I mean, I wish they have it now. So anyway, I remember through another friend, she asked, doesn't Shanaka like to enjoy life? They thought now I'm avoiding a certain enjoyment. I said, it came to my mind. Those days I never knew I'd become a monk or anything. I was interested in physics, and I thought physics might explain how the world goes on. That curiosity was there. I want to know there was something behind this world, an order, a certain mechanism. This knowledge, this feeling was there. So this thirst was there. And so I told immediately to these people, until I know the world, I will not play with it. In the subconscious I knew, one day I will come to know. Know the world means in the highest way actually. That in other words, Arahant really. I didn't know those words, but so that time this particular thing was there, but so in a way I was, avoiding, and I didn't get caught to these particular ways of would have destroyed me or damaged me. So later on, anyway, I had certain experiences, met my guru, and he inspired me more, and I had his protection, living in the jungle with him, and training, and then managed to be a monk. But those days in the international schools, not easy. So parents maybe, when you have to go, the environment and the friends you meet can change your entire course of your life. So now today it is just more, you don't have to go into any parties or anything, you have the internet. So I had certain experience, now actually internet, I know how to use YouTube, YouTube. I think that's all I know. Other things I know the name, Facebook, right? Only the name I know. So when I was coming in the plane, there was one gentleman seated next to me from Tasmania. It was nice because he was really a nice man, he was really a spiritual person. Spiritual means in the sense he had a good understanding, so much human, and he was so nice to me. And anyway, I told him, he was telling, this is how you can operate, shall I teach you? I said, no, it's okay. It's all right. I just wait because this is for me a distraction. I mean, they have that channels you can have in the plane. So I told, I know I used to admire your crocodile Dundee. I told, I told them actually, because I used to because I had this kind of feeling also in the jungle and so on. But as a monk only, I did all these things. So then I told him, told him, I think I'm kind of a crocodile dandy from Sri Lanka. Not these gadgets and things like this. Anyway, he was very nice. So I must come to my point. Suddenly I get this blackouts. Okay, you have to excuse me, and you have to remind where I stopped. You must know that the life I have gone through is not my body doesn't show that due to some karma. But the heat and the rain, of course, these venerables know a little bit of my past in Sri Lanka. Well, at one point I cut across the LTT, the terrorist area. And this is also I must remind, because just to show that there's a time gave the life and face, okay, death will come, and I made sure my sila, sila is okay, and I entered those areas. That's one occasion. And when I go to jungle with bear or the animals, then also you have to really be honestly clear about you. So this is the other one. The last one was in 2015, where I had to face this. So I call that this is now all bonus for me from 2015, these moments I'm living. And I would say maybe you're meeting a ghost, No, it's actually, I feel I am dead, gone there that time. So I'll be going again after maybe this trip. So if I face that situation, I would not get that thought again that I have not given enough to the people. So this, to clear that only, I'm doing this. So anyway, for young people and for even old people who are still young, regarding internet, I had certain experience of I also have a side of with rishis. I don't know whether you heard about the Hindu yogis from young time. These two parts actually, the monks who practice the Dhamma and the Hindu yogis, they were also part of my life. Maybe in past lives I would have been practicing these things. So in one occasion, there was one of a guru who used to, behind you all, there are invisible beings too, dimensions and beings too that follow you. But you can know with they are not tangible, but you can know yourself who is following you behind you. How? This time I remember that person, he used to make sure they come into your body. I don't know whether you've seen any situations like that, where that person is unconscious and another person is talking through the body. Have you experienced this? I mean, this part of the world, I think this is zero things, No? That is, you see, this is so materialistic area, right? This could be a basic knowledge, because to know that there are other realms and other dimensions. So anyway, but some of them they don't understand. They keep it hidden, I think. Like people when they go mad, in the mad, places, the spirits are there. So anyway, I will tell you. So he used to make them possess and make them confess, talk. And then when the spirit leaves, he's conscious. He doesn't know what happened. He normally falls on the ground or whatever. So one of them many of them, I witnessed this, when they entered, and they are the ones who, now the complaint is that boy is, not doing his studies and, going to nightclubs or, doing all these things. So he came for solution to this person. So to see, this spirit is telling, I'm the one who, taking him to these places, giving him the drive. And asked, how did you enter the body? When? At the age of 13 or something. How? One occasion they say through Facebook. I don't know, I only hear the word Facebook. When this child was through Facebook, through games. While they were playing games, So, but now I do understand, taking these are activating, these are the ways or the medium where these things can work. But we don't know, we only see our child is going astray, or even an adult person using this technology. Now yesterday, a little bit elderly person, he's not doing certain things, when I ask him, he's not killing mosquitoes, but he's killing an elephant. Something like that I realized, because when I told this, I talk about this dangerous, this damaging, this you're draining your energy and so on. Then he's telling, well, I don't do that, Venerable Sir. But then I was finding out, then he's doing something else, which is, double, triple than that. So anyway, how he's also doing that through the internet, and and then he realized, due to my past preaching, that the spirit is involved, and when the temptation came, he decided, oh my God, it's going to damage me. So I must tell you, normally in our lives, we have one time we are washing our life, and one other time we are putting our life into mud. Okay? When you find this type of things happening in your life, you must know this kind of influence is there in you. And if you allow this to happen again and again, those forces get strengthened. So no point, your life is just going to be in a limbo, I don't know, it's going to... so whenever you feel the temptation, you must know that these forces are there. If I allow it, it's going to get strengthened. So I'm going to keep away. Before that, you must reflect this. And when you're able to avoid it one time, two times, third time, that the food for that particular energy you're not giving, then it has to leave. And those dimensions get closed up. In other words, your character, holes in your character get patched up. This is very important. Because this I'm coming to, to practice meditation. I'm all talking about the foundation. And if this foundation is never made, you will only be hearing Dhamma talks every day. But not Dhamma talks. You should have shine in your body. I will tell you this, how it happens. When you are addressing these problems and overcoming these addictions and clearing these things slowly, then you will be able to get deep feelings about the Dhamma, or grasp it in a deep way. You have concentration power naturally, or grasping power. And when you have grasping power, the Dhamma will go deeply. Especially, I told you now, when you tell a gatha, or the verses of the Buddha, or think of the Buddha, we normally bow down. But I see when you bow down, you will have tears. This is where that energy parts of your brain is open. So when you have this level of this thing, you also get a corresponding tranquility compared to that. And for every emotion, there is a chemical reaction in our body, or a hormonal this thing. Like when you have anger, you have adrenaline, and when you have other emotions, you have other things secreted from your body. Even sexual feelings, you get a certain, even thoughts, even food, if you think. So when you have other way, when you think of the other way, in a positive things, much more in a positive, in a strong way, when your mind gets tranquilized, also something is produced. This is normally in the Ayurveda called ojas. This term ojas is there. So the ojas is normally travels through the the channel in this thing to your brain, and the areas which the brain has not been opened yet, it starts to open and work, and cooling. The very finest nerves in the brain start to operate. And normally when they operate like that, you will have a kind of special brain. So you can see physically a person who has always activated that particular part of the brain, has accumulated ojas. He's going to make a mark in the world. He's going to do something. And you can see normally in his body also the aura, and normally there will be a shine in the cheeks and the forehead. So I always tell, don't lose that shine if you got it. So normally there are major ways we lose this energy. That is connected with the tongue. We have the tongue and the sexual organ, which are similar, which many nerves, the red. So whenever there are anything connected with that, this thing, the reptilian brain is working. We have two parts in the brain, reptilian brain, and they call the new brain in the modern medical. But we know according to good karma, we got that thinking and analyzing and that part of the brain. It's not because of Darwin idea of evolution from chimpanzee or whatever, I don't know. But it's actually due to good karma, past good karma, that we got that part. So whenever we activate the reptilian brain, that is through food, first comes through sex actually. That's the main attraction, main delight, main thing that gives pleasure. Then comes food. So that's why major rules are given by the Buddha. Very interesting, The Buddha gives degrees of severity, We think it's like he must be a strict master. No, these rules are given to protect us. It's nice to know something about science, because then it gives you more support. Real proper science, it gives you really support to what Buddha has told you. Just you don't need to study anything else. You feel you can blindly even follow the Buddha, because he seems to confirm any true finding. So very interesting. The Buddha has given grave offense in the bhikkhus, monks. Monastic rules. Therefore, if you break, we lose our. We have to disrobe. And there are other 12 rules which also fall under grave offense. Very interesting, grave offense. The second one in the second category, this one. Now this was only few, it was happening few in that society, in that period. But when it happened, Buddha put the rule. Now this rule is for today. Because this is like, where it is not happening is not common. You understand? It is like everybody is happening. It is happening. So this is mainly connected with bad habits, with especially regarded to, you could say, sexual behavior. And I don't know how to tell, because all of you are educated people, I don't mind, this, and I could give you a roundabout way to explain this. There are, in the West I found now, this YouTube, it's one way very helpful. When I was in India, I happened to find, there are groups in other countries in the West who have formed, who have known about this damage, and they are practicing this. Now you might know, please forgive me, and I don't know whether I'll break a Vinaya rule by, I hope some of them will not understand, and I hope for people who might need this will understand. They have an entire group called NoFap. I don't know. Have you? NoFap. NoFapp. And under this, they are training themselves to restrain themselves for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 1 month, like that. And they are talking about the benefits of this. I think we Buddhists should be knowing this. Especially Sri Lanka, the schools, everybody should be knowing this. The Christian also have the knowledge that this is a demonic influence is there. And all this, the negative, the hormones that are created, they are eaten by the spirits, negative spirits. They are, then all are circling around your body. Because I had to make it graphic like this, so that, it will make a point, and I hope it will help you all. And I wish I got this teaching when I was a young boy, or when I was growing up and following this path. So I would have, because you know why? And today we have to face, I'm sure in this society more, this danger and damage. And so I hope you can go through NoFap, YouTube or anything, and under this you'll find the entire idea. So this is a foundation, because celibacy has power. Opposite of celibacy, you're losing all the power, because more the pressure, the more the energy is lost. And when you have lost energy, okay, you may be able to do normal things, but leave alone spiritual things. Your only animal brain will start working. Reptilian brain, interest for food, going for restaurants, going for entertainment, not for self-discipline. These things you will like to do it, but you will lose the opportunity to do it. So, I will tell you one example, the benefit of this. Have you heard of Swami Vivekananda? Swami Vivekananda, have you heard? No? Oh.
Can you say that again?
Swami Vivekananda? Vivekananda. Have you heard of the Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1895, like this? It's good to have some background knowledge. So not to follow blindly Buddhism or anything, I think I would not do, because I didn't come in an orthodox way. I thought science will bring, then I realized, then through physics, independent real experience came to me, and then I saw the sutras representing that. Otherwise, so actually my mother is a very religious person, practicing for a long time. But for me only, she got to rely on the original sutras. Even Sri Lanka, they are following their own Buddhism. You understand? Yeah, they are all following their old, some cultural Buddhism. This actually the real monks and all that, they have no monasteries. They have no, there are so many things. If you are tapped that place, anywhere that creates gross bondages, you will be leaving it. It will show from what you have realized by your actions. It will come out, because you will be in contact with a different plane, a plane of dispassion, plane of coolness, and it will, you will automatically make decisions based on that. But if you don't have that experience, then you could be influenced by what is going on around you, and you will do according to that. You will not make a distinction or differentiation like that. So anyway, before my blackout comes, I want to, the point I was going to tell, what I was telling? Yeah, thank you very much. You all are very nice, you're helping me, because can't help it. All this life, how I spent, something, or maybe I have done some bad karma, insulted the senior monk in the past, having this problem. So Swami Vivekananda, he actually, but unfortunately you don't know about him, no? You know Mahatma Gandhi, I'm sure, but not Swami Vivekananda. The British time, I hope no British or English people are here, are they? Then it's okay. But they're Australians? No. Because Australian? No, I'm telling the what is this, Anglo-Saxon, Australian. There is anyone? Okay, because that's nice, because you're anti-British now, so no problem, right? Right? Am I right? Okay. Okay, you're good, you're in harmonious way of thinking. Anyway, so I will talk about, because that time, all the Asians, they were like, worshipping the white skin. Okay, even now they do, who have not have some experience, who don't know the value of their, whatever. So anyway, when you have self-confidence, you are not frightened of anything. You must have true belief in you and self-realization. Then you'll be free. Now I see even in our monasteries. Now I have been there. There's compassion to our people like this. Now when I'm going, I want to walk the streets of this place. Tell you honestly, because I feel the suffering of these bodies. And I wish I had more Australians, in my sight. I could meet Sri Lankans in Sri Lanka. But unfortunately our missionaries or whatever, they are not tapped, because that has not become, they are not shown the universal experience of it. It has still shown it, because if it was shown, they would all be coming, they will be lining up. Because they all need that peace and knowledge. This is a common thing. Buddha was not born in Sri Lanka. He was from Nepal. But that enlightenment is a universal thing for all living beings. So I hope this will go into the minds of some people and it will awaken them, to really to close themselves in a room or somewhere and practice and really glimpse this universal truth. So that then it will start to work through their bones and their flesh and their very being. that they will feel, any being they see, they will see the Dhamma. You know, when I entered the LTT area, I didn't see them as LTT. They have killed so many monks, you know. And they thought maybe this a mad nut is coming, or some, because I mean they didn't say like that. But anyway, you have to be the mad to go inside there, or I don't know, you have to be something. But I didn't see them as LTT. I saw them as the 5 elements, you know, 5 skandhas, which I trained as. Now you have rupa. When I see, I should see that is based on karma. You're getting this body, these eyes, and so on. But these are not from the book. You should feel it. You should know like that. But that. So when you know like that, you will have true compassion coming when you see any being. So anyway, here also I happened to walk through the streets, and I wanted to walk a little bit the Pindapata, and so, but they don't know what I was doing. Actually, I was sending my feelings of good thoughts, though they can't come out of their homes, but my thoughts are going to you all, whoever the residents of Australia. So anyway, because they all are one family, whatever it is, so this is the type of, in those days, no, even the Asians, they didn't have the feeling they are anybody. They were so down, so they were frightened. They took everything, and the missionaries also trying to change to Christianity, the Christians. So such a period only Swami Vivekananda went to Chicago. And Buddhism was represented by Anagarika Dharmapala. You must be knowing. He came to, he also was there in the Parliament of Religions. So Swami Vivekananda, he was 31 years old, and he was reluctant to speak. 7,000 in the auditorium. He was very shy, you know. He didn't face such a big audience. So when his turn came, he only told a simple word, you know, sisters and brothers of India. Unfortunately, your background knowledge is a little bit regarding the spiritual people who made some mark in the past time. Sisters and brothers of America. He only told this. And they say the parliament went mad. Now, they don't have mics those days, you know. And in the paper reports, they say the parliament went mad. And we felt to pay tribute to something what we didn't know what it was. Like that, you know, you can imagine how it happened. And later on, they were all coming to see who is this Vivekananda, who is this Vivekananda. There were posters and everywhere. This was in Chicago. And then later on, somebody interviewed him. What was that power, Venerable? What was that power that you had that time? That voice came, you know, they say it's like a Chinese gong, his voice. And it sort of permeates the whole audience, you know, it pierces their heart. So what was that power? They asked him. He said, in the yogic practice, because the Buddha's teaching coming in the background of the Vedic, this thing. So it's interesting when some of those things, when we get to know, then we can understand what the standard Buddha is expecting. So 12 years they have a practice where they control their thoughts, even thinking about women or men or any sexual thought, they control for 12 years. So when they control for 12 years, he says that one of the sort of covering in the brain, it gets removed. And there is that super brain, he says, that starts to work with full of knowledge and this thing. So that practice, he said, he did it. And that after that 12-year period only, that purity only burst out during that speech. So these are this happened really, and it's nice to know the benefits or blessings of. So this power is there. So when we are not controlling this damage is there. We could know that if you really want to find truth. So I hope you can go through this no FAP. I hope for the young people, but I don't know the others also, they can check this. You might not want to meet me after checking that. There is no problem. I have done my service to you all. You know, I don't care. I want to die in peace. You know that I have given you all. So, but I told you I have my good parts in my life. This regarding going to the LTT area and so on, and the Himalayas and all that. But I also have a dark side. Trying to overcome that part only, certain experiences. Through that experiences only, I am telling you all these things. So luckily I had that part so that you all also could relate. If I was just born completely pure, maybe you will think, my God, maybe next life we will try it, right? So I'm happy in a way, but I hope I can overcome, completely and be a true example. This is my dream. So these are the general points I want to talk about. This is, normally you might have to face. So internet, Facebook, these things could enter. And okay, if you find you're not addicted, to something, you can know about it. How? You can leave it. You don't need to use it next day. But if you have to leave it, then you're addicted. If you have to use it, then you're addicted. Then you must leave it. So you can check. You see, if you say, oh, I'm not addicted, then stop for 1 week, 2 weeks. Then you can test if you can really stop. Okay, you can use it, no problem. But if you can't stop, you're in a problem. Anything. And the other thing is, anything you do hidden, in toilet or anywhere, remember it's damaging for you. Okay? Anything you do hidden physically, of course verbally we rarely do things hidden, but physically, remember, know that this is going to damage you. So you'll always try to correct anything which you are doing, when you are not with people. If you are thinking, no, if people are there, I would not do it, let me not do this. The Devata, I don't know whether you know about Devatas, gods and other realms, they do see us. So I can even tell you some personal experiences how these beings do exist. Would you like to know about something like that? Yes. There are plenty of experiences. Really? Or are you bored and tired now? What's the time? Do you know the time? 10:35. So my time is 10:30. I have
11 o'clock.
I have until 11, is it?
Yes.
I need at least 4 hours. No, it's true, not joking. But anyway, I hope I can cover quickly some points. So what do you want to know actually? Anything you want to know from here? I have another half an hour, no?
Yes,
I'll give you my last something, okay? But before that, do you like to ask something from me? Or are you shy? Or did I answer some of your questions? Yes, please.
Bhante, you started to talk about observing the skandhas.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about sankhara and consciousness, but you did not go through to the other points. I'm wondering if you could finish
Which point?
Elucidating.
Yes, which point?
So you talked about observing sankhara.
Yeah.
You related sankhara to excuse my voice, I'm
Yeah.
cold. To the observation of positive, negative, neutral states.
Yeah, okay.
But the sankharas, of course, are also other parts. So is there more in your technique in terms of looking at the skandhas?
Yeah. Actually, if anyone explains too much about the skandhas, I will tell you something. But I might be a bit of a problem for many people, but I can't help it. The Dhamma, Dhamma is something, there's a part where you can explain and there's a part you can't explain. Like a means, the road can be explained, but the experiences can't be explained. You understand? Like the part where it's like for example the map, you can give some idea of the map. Or the signpost. We can talk about the signpost. Actually all these Dhamma, the suttas, even those words, sankhara and all these things, these are given by the Buddha. These are like signposts. But the actual, how the sankharas work, it can't be explained. Now I tell many people, if any monk explains now even I explained just now, right? How there's feeling and how there's perception, and then the perception, how if it's pleasant, you react with greed and so on. This is because I have come to your level, it's also wrong. Because I tell anyone who explains too much Dhamma, that means he has not understood it. Now my teachers, they never explain too much in detail like that. They say just impermanence like that. But I know why. And they used to tell me just read this sutta, that sutta like that. Because now you already will get a picture of, like this, like that, and it will be a block for you to see the real picture of it. So more you are natural and without any preconceived influences, and you directly meet the Buddha, this is a long story how I came to, then you might touch that original level of experience. So this actually, for my liking, I took this explanation that this is something correct, but it's not correct really. Some level it is correct, like whenever you have a moment of consciousness, you have eyes, object, and that based on that you have eye consciousness. That something happen. Then in that there is feeling, the sensation, and this with the feeling you have something that judges the feeling. Now these are all nice things for us to, then we get a logical picture of it and we are happy with that. It's okay, I think it's alright, but don't rely too much on that explanation as a realization. Because realization, if you really come to a realization, you can't explain it. You will just stop at a, just telling, okay, just now yesterday I had to explain, I went through the suttas. One sutta, I just demonstrated how to activate this. This is called Yoniso Manasikara. That means, I don't know how, the English word is what?
Wise attention.
No. My English is not that bad, Actually, you can't trick me. Because my first language is like English, and then second, now because I was speaking a lot of Sinhalese. Wise reflection? Wise contemplation. Wise deep contemplation. But the problem is, okay, wise deep contemplation. Yeah, because it activates intuition. It's deep also. Thinking without thinking. These are the only closest things I could come. Actually, intuition is the best word, I would say. Intuitive. It activates intuition. Ways of... so anyway, Yoniso Manasikara means thinking from the source of the thinking. I don't know, from the origin, from... Manasikara means, actually you're right, if you directly translate it, it's right. But Yoniso Manasikara, yeah, okay, you must be knowing Pali then. But Manasikara, in this sense, is actually a kind of, because in the Buddha's time, it's connected with wisdom activating, activating wisdom, activating just a knowledge, spark awareness, reality, knowing the final truth of things. So, Yoniso Manasikara, I would call it like this in practical part. My life is practical. Where I got now say you don't understand some mathematical question in school or college. You go for a walk, just you go walk, you're fed up thinking about it. Suddenly you're not thinking about it. And suddenly the answer comes to you. So that to consciously develop, I think this is the practice. You consciously you do without thinking, just being free and then allowing the answer to come from somewhere deep inside you. Okay? That is Yoniso Manasikara. Okay. I hope you got the point. So yesterday I had to explain about, I was going to tell how to reflect the suttas. How, this is my main mission, not to talk about the suttas. How to do the practice. This I feel people are missing it. So yesterday I asked one sutta, it tells, Buddha says, Jara Marana means decay and death is based on something. And then he questions, what is it based on? It's like a way of reflecting. It's in the Nidana Samyutta. So immediately these people, they answered to me, birth. I'm not kind of a school teacher waiting for an answer like that. I want them to how it should, it should go into their mind and the mental picture should come. And then they understood. Then they learned to stay in silence and just not to answer from a memory. You understand? From where you heard from somebody or something. It's not if you give a quick answer, you're okay. You have to picture yourself. You have to be Newton yourself. You have to be Einstein yourself. You have to be someone, this is how it is. Because it should happen in you. So for that you have to slowly, quietly ponder and just allow it to come. Don't allow just fast to get the answer. Just you must picture it happening. So they were doing that. I was happy. Because this is my main idea. At least I would like to show them how to, take the original text and like Buddha was talking to them, because that is the sure guide. If you get some clarity in that Dhamma, in the Buddha's teaching, you will see him. You see him means you will know he was real. It was not someone who wrote about the Dhamma. There was someone who really enlightened like this. And his words are really recorded there. You will know it for yourself. So this experience, this is my main goal. So I always tell to have as a guru, I saw some books here. You have now good translations. You have Samyutta Nikaya, Kindle saying, I think by Bhikkhu Bodhi. This you can go through that. Read slowly and do the meditation. One meditation I would tell that was like, the qualities of the Buddha. These are good or something. I don't know. You can, no more pain, no more what? You can use something to inspire yourself initially. It could be, I can't tell about Michael Jackson, but somebody, I don't know, in the modern days, somebody who will give you some positive thoughts, just use it a little bit. You find something that inspires you immediately, about compassion or something. Thank you for this love. There's something, no? Thank you for this love, spirits. Thank you for this love. Have you? You have to use something, just for like a starter. Don't just sit down. So that you pump in, spiritual steroids into you. So you get that special energy and, just give you an uplift. And after that, if you get the tranquility, you will get so much, you will experience some, tranquility. And with that tranquility, it's a nice meditation, is metta. Okay? But I will go through one meditation. I hope I have time. I will go through it, which I faced in Himalayas, Kailash, and I will give you at least a little bit taste of it. Okay? So that before we end, I hope I can do that. So after metta, you can go a little bit anapanasati. But before metta, you can also do contemplation. You can shift contemplating, vipassana, there's like the skandhas and all that, and then going into compassion. Because you can see this compassion, analyzing vipassana gives you dispassion, how peaceful it is. It is like final liberation. So then you can wish that for everybody. You will have natural compassion. And with compassion, then you will have concentration power. Again you can come to contemplation. Then like that, when you change, you will have the greatest wholesome qualities in your mind. You will definitely attain something. But I like to ask that gentleman whether I answered this thing. Did I answer something? I don't know, because I'm going here and there.
Yes, that's fine.
Sorry?
Yes.
So how did you understand? No big problem, right?
So I'll understand it in this way, that what can be said only approximates the truth, and so what we have to do is to try and appreciate and understand that within ourselves.
So wonderful, you see. I wish I had more people like this. Really. It's so fast. No need to explain too many things. That's why I told, get me some audience, but of course, they are so nice. They're great people. They are open, because I wish, I could share this. My teacher was from Germany, you know that? That I was talking about a monk who inspired me, but I don't see him as German, only when devotees, sometimes we were not allowing him to give him rest. So they said he's a white man. I said, then only I realized he's white. Because for me, he was a bhikkhu. He was a real monk. I never saw him like that. So I'm sure the angels and the divine beings will bring me more to you all. My prayers are there for all of you, remember? That's why I don't think Sri Lanka people, they will not understand me. But they are all great people because for centuries they have been looking after. That's why it's in their blood. But I'm sure there are those great noble beings all over the world. And this is my prayer, that they will get all an equal opportunity to touch. And because they are interested, they are keen, their minds are so sharp. In wisdom, it's not they're only intelligent or something. And I hope that they will get the fullest encouragement in these coming years, so that they could, all come to that mental peace and set an example to their relations, environment, wherever they are going. This is my one wish to all of you. I don't know, you all must be settled here. Where are you from?
Malaysia originally.
Okay, and you are now settled here, is it? Okay, you? You must be from?
Malaysia.
Okay. Malaysians also, they are so much devoted. Kuala Lumpur, I know I have few. And there's one monk, no, Ven Bambalapitiye. I don't know. He was in the forest one time in Sri Lanka. I don't know his name. Sorry? Yes, please.
When the body dies, which part of the mind dies with it? When the body dies, the eye doesn't function, the ear doesn't function, and the whole body senses
Yep.
don't function. But does it mean the eye, ear, nose, sound, and body consciousness die with it? And which part of the mind still goes on? If it's not enlightened, it will be in samsara. So, does the mind ever die?
Even it died just now. Now you spoke to me. It's the thing that dies so fast, but another one comes up immediately. So it looks like a one stream. It's difficult to make out. It's moments of death and coming up again. Now when you blink, any moment you're changing. And that's so many times it has died. The consciousness, you understand? So this body we can see normally getting old and so on, we can observe. But that's why Buddha says it's better to get attached to the body than the mind. Because body we can at least notice these people got old and so on. The old people, it doesn't mean they were born old. They were one time very young and well, right? So but the eyes, the consciousness, it changes so fast. There's no example to be given for the speed of its rising and passing away. That it looks like one. So that's the problem. The idea of myself to the mind is difficult to remove. Only through deep contemplation that it is sustained by the body. Now, you can never have a consciousness without a body. You understand? You can't have a consciousness independent. Without an eyeball, say eye consciousness, without an eyeball as a basis, and rupa as a supporting thing to come up. It has those.
I have a further question.
Is the first one answered or what? Because otherwise.
The first one is answered.
Okay.
The further question is, when one meditates and one is focused on one object and becomes and able to get one pointedness, the body becomes very heavy like a stone and very still and heavy, and you can feel that the body cannot move. The body cannot move, but the mind is aware of it. And then, if the meditation gets deeper into one point, it gets into the mindset. It doesn't have the physical. Once it is aware of the body being like a hard rock, very heavy, but the mind is concentrated into one point, what happens is where is the mind if we go into only one object? Where you get into one object, into the perception of the mind, what the mind is perceiving. receiving is beyond the physical material.
Right. Like you're seeing it from outside. Like you're seeing your own body from outside.
Inside the mind.
Okay.
But the mind has no place to stay.
Right. It's like a vacuum or something.
Yeah.
You can come here. Bring your chair here. Come. You must come here. No, you have a chair? You can sit here. Okay. I hope this heaviness will reduce while you're here. So what is the question? Well, where is the mind? So mind is nowhere. That's no problem.
Nowhere to stay.
Yes. It's nowhere. It's but you are feeling light. You are feeling light.
Feel a very experience that where can he go?
You don't have to look for it. Let it be. Just absorb it.
Oh.
Let it be.
And then when a thought comes, it wakes up. It's very clear that a thought comes, and that's where it spoils everything.
It's okay. But not only thought spoils.
So the thought is disturbing the mind that is very still.
But don't worry. It's not your thought. It's not your thought.
No, the thought is.
Yes.
Waking, what time is it? Oh.
You should not search for it. You should not search for it.
Search for the time.
Time and thought.
That's the problem.
Just let it be.
Oh, yeah.
Just let it
And
be.
if let it be, you might die. You see, but
That's okay. That's okay. But don't do too much meditation.
don't do
Too much, yeah.
do
Don't.
more contemplation.
Reading the Dhamma and little metta, because it can't tell something now, but you must stay here, okay? You'll get something, okay?
But sometimes we wonder whether this is wise contemplation or just thought.
No, read contemplation not on your own. Don't do your own contemplation. Go through, you read which country you are? Which country you are from? Which country? Asia. I don't know. You can read English well?
Yes.
Okay?
I
Or
think so.
you think so? Or Mandarin, right? Mandarin.
I read both.
So
Sometimes I read the...
it's better to, if you can read what the Buddha spoke, just try to understand or just apply to yourself. Little bit chanting also. Chanting and reading. But don't do sitting and long meditation, not too long. But you wait here sometime until let's see.
Thank you.
Wait, okay. So I will do a little meditation quickly.
You
No,
stay
no,
there, you stay
wait
there.
here, wait here, it's okay.
Come closer.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we do a quick meditation. 11 o'clock, what?
11, what's the time? Lunchtime.
11, 11.
No.
Whose lunchtime? Your?
Venerable inside.
One venerable, So you all go and serve the venerable. Is
Communal
it?
lunch.
Oh. So you have 3 minutes. You have only 3 minutes, right?
We can do for 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
We have another session.
We have another session, do we? Okay. Okay. So no problem. Anyone? All right. Oh, then thank you.
So Bhante, the session is the next session will be from 12:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
And that 2 hour comprise of 1 hour meditations and 1 hour.
Okay. Right. So before you go for lunch, I must spoil your lunch. No, I hope you'll have. You must remember, 2 things. You have to control. I wish I took lunch yesterday. I had to take with these people, but I couldn't also have proper lunch. Today I had a little bit. So you have to try your best not to allow the taste. No, really, this is called Indriya Samvara Sila. Now I can look at you all like this, right? I can look at you like this. Can you see me? Do you see me like I'm focused to any of you? No. Now? Yes. You can't see, right? Like now when I'm looking like this, I'm not focused to any of you. But when I'm like this, I'm focused. So you must be unfocused. So this is called Indriya Sangha. It's an ancient practice for meditation to stop your monkey mind, where you don't register impressions. If you want to develop in meditation, you will have to train these things. These are preliminaries, where you like a sacrifice is, you become sacred when you really sacrifice. Sacrifice is you give up a pleasure. It doesn't mean, like in Sri Lanka we have, some of them ask me, Bante, like, I saw somebody and I just reflected impermanence after that. I saw the food, or I was eating the food, then I reflected the impermanence. I felt it and then I reflected it. I said, you are like people who have already got bullets, I don't know, in Sinhalese we have Vedi Vediche, but I don't know how to, because long time I'm not speaking English, so I don't have immediate words for it.
Shot,
got shot. Right. I said, you have already got shot. You see, it's like you should be able to cut it. That strength should be there, that means you're not trained enough of that kind of mindfulness to not to experience it. Now you're walking in a park, you should not recognize who are coming. You see, two people are coming. You don't need to recognize. If you have done to that extent, is correct, that level of sense control. So same with the food, tongue. So you have to try this, You must know it's like very burning, it's dangerous. When you are able to control like that, when you cut that tasting, the animal brain is not working, the reptilian brain. When it is not working, you can use the thinking brain, the analyzing brain, the satipatthana. You can watch. When you have the taste of the food, smell of the food, the sight of the food, the animal brain is working, the other one is dim, it's not working. In the MRI scan, you can notice this. So if you want to sharpen your thinking, if you want to sharpen your meditation, you have to sharpen your restraining or sacrificing. So when you don't taste the food, you see, you can observe what happens in your mouth. You see, if you taste the food, you can't, your mind is dull. When you don't taste, you must munch using your teeth. So the tongue is kept behind. You can try today. Okay, but anyway, if you really like to practice this, you might like to meet me otherwise. Anyway, so you have to keep the tongue behind, and then if you try this, you will find, you will notice time to time what really happens, how when those certain food is touching the tongue, how those feelings come. That is consciousness. And then when the touch is not there, the consciousness is no more there. So how it is, you see the conditionality, that feelings we call ourselves, really how it is not yourself. It's a momentary thing that comes and goes. You'll be perceiving these things, my friend. When we are doing that, and you will be enjoy seeing the Dhamma. You understand? So you can try this and you can see how essential. You can't have two tastes. You can't taste the world as well as the way out of the world. Either you have to, like the swimming pool, either you have to jump in, or you can't keep one foot here and one foot there. You will have to go to the accident ward. So this you have to try. You can try. Why not? These things I tried from age of 18. You can try and you will get some tranquility. And maybe when you come to the session, you will not feel sleepy. Because when you activate the animal reptilian brain, you have tasted the food. You have already got used to using the reptilian brain. Then sleepiness, all that will be nourished, and sense desire. Now when you control the tongue, and then when you don't taste the food and you see that food is like an illusion, the feelings you got was just some muck you were munching and you were getting these kind of feelings. You'll find all other relationships in the sensual world same. Whether you attach to children, house, boyfriend, girlfriend, dog, puppy, all that you'll find, they are just illusions for piece of flesh and things that you are this thing. You will be noticing this. You'll see your bondages removing from food, your other bondage also will start to remove. And you'll get coolness and lightness. You'll be removing all these illusions one by one. Like the Tasmanian friend, he was asking, well, Bhante, why are these robes and all that? I say, yeah, we are trained to break illusions. So one is hair, we don't have hair, and then one dress. all these other cloths and all this. So no, the illusions, masks. So before you all go, this is, I hope you all keep this in mind. Arahang arahoti namena, araham papa nakare, arihatta palam patto, arahan nama te namo. Arahang arahoti namena, arahang papang nakare, arihatta palam patto, arahang nama te namo. Samma Sambuddha Jnanena, Samma Sambuddha deshana, Samma Sambuddha lokasmin, Samma Sambuddha te namo. Sugato sugatantanam, Sugato sundaram picha, Nibbanang sugating yanti, Sugato nama te namo. Anuttaro jnana silena, Yolokassa suvanuttaro, anuttaro puja lokasmin, tannamasami anuttaro. Devayakka manussanam, loke agga palang dadang, dadang tang dhamayanantam, purisa janate namo. Bhagava bhagava yutto, bhaggang kalesa vahato, bhaggang sansara muttaro, Bhagava nama te namo. So on the way, today is the day I was little bit looking outside the window while they were taking me in the vehicle with another gentleman. He's not here. So I just saw a board. What was it? Psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, is it? We have boards, I think. I don't know, proper psychotherapy or something was there. So I thought, oh, physiotherapy? No. Psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, ne? Yeah, psychotherapy. Some. No.
Proper psychotherapy.
Proper. No, psychotherapy is a good advertisement. Psychotherapy. But physiotherapy. But anyway, do you have any I don't know how, centers or something like that, psychotherapy? No. You don't.
In Perth, they used to run a Buddhist psychotherapy course.
Okay.
In Perth.
All right. But here no, this area no. Then it must be physiotherapy, right? Is it?
Many centers, ma'am.
No physiotherapy, no.
No
Okay.
psychotherapy.
So it's maybe my mind, It's it might be my mind.
There's Buddhist psychotherapists.
Okay, you do have here,
Well, there are people who are Buddhist psychotherapists.
but not formally.
Not attached to the BSV.
Okay, right. Yeah, there's something like that,
There are lots of psychotherapists in Melbourne, but all attached to psychology.
Yeah, I know. The medical, field, the proper.
And the Kagu Centre has psychotherapy.
It's one of the Tibetan centres.
One of the
that's
Tibetan
been
centres.
running for many
Okay,
years.
right.
Combination of
Okay.
psychotherapy and meditation.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to give a small treatment immediately, and maybe after you come back also, okay? Wait. Yes.
Thank you, Bante.
Sorry, I didn't finish.
A small psychotherapy session, he said.
Anyone having any big problem? Plenty of problems. No, honestly, some having, I don't know. I don't want to tell like this, because they can come and meet me. I also face near-death experiences, tremendous crisis in life. So he told me some people, because in Sri Lanka, some of them get to know, and of course, then just loads of people start to come. But I said, whoever is suffering, no problem while I'm here, I'm there for it. And it's whatever way I would try to help. Some of the things I did in Himalayas, I hope by those beings who practice out of compassion, that so anybody having any particular special difficulty, I'm sure you don't want to, even if you have, Wait.
I think that problems with depressive thinking are not unusual. Negative thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is, I think, common to everybody, right?
But that's what I would imply by what saying that I don't think I'm in any way unique.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's common to everybody, and I'm sure you're okay. You can manage it. I need a bit of sound set later on. I don't know, here is not possible, I guess. But wait. Sakala loka dhatu kampa karagana vahanse yatha maha guniyak වැටුවා. මාසික බුද්ධ ශාසනය ලෝක සත්වයාටම මහා කරුණා ශක්තියකින් බුද්ධ මාතාව අහිංසක සත්වයන්ට තියෙනවා නම් ඉන්නේ දෝෂයක් දුර වේවා. සබ්බේ බුද්ධා බලප්පත්තා පච්චේකානං චම්බලං අරහන්තානං ච තේජේන රක්ඛම්බන්තාමි සබ්බසෝ. සබ්බේ ධම්මා බලප්පත්තා අරිය සත්‍යං චම්බලං ධම්මචක්කස්ස තේජේන රක්ඛම්බන්තාමි සබ්බසෝ. සබ්බේ සංඝා බලප්පත්තා විමුත්තං චම්බලං ශාසන සහ තේජේන රක්ඛම්බන්ත. අහිංසක සත්වයන්ගේ ආත්ම ගණන් පෙරම් පුරාගෙන අවසත්‍ය අධිෂ්ඨාන බලයෙන් මේක සියලු දොස් දුර වේවා. So peacefully go for your lunch and come. You know, generosity and things like that. And nekkamansansa, then karma, law of karma, and about the devalokas, the other dimensions, other lokas, other world systems. Then only he talks about the impermanence and the Four Noble Truths. So there's a gradual way. So the main obstacle today is the sensual realm. You see, it has become so sophisticated or organized, as one gentleman told me one time. In that situation, so normally the sensual world is the world of Mara, the demon, you know. He works very much, it's an active place. So he got a very good support these days, the internet. It's not a joke, you know. It's not a joke because luckily I told these points. One gentleman comes to, yes, I don't want to tell because I hope no one will identify him. It must be personal, he told me because of some trust. But anyway, he told Bhante, because you told us about something about, I never knew, you know, I knew that then this temptation came and I was able to sort of, I thought, oh, it's going to damage me and destroy me, and I kept away from it. So I thought how much then I got a picture of this place. Of course, I was in Nicosia and in South Africa, Lesotho. Lesotho was not a problem, but South Africa, it's also, they have but then I know the environment, you know, you have many possibilities of going in wrong ways. So anyway, so it helped him. So I thought I must stress this, you know, in whatever, before I go into a kind of a meditation more, but this is for the meditation, because like in your life normally you will be one time washing your clothes like and then putting into mud, washing, put into mud. So to stop this putting into mud, these points might help you. Okay, but only young people few, no. But old people also having problems, you know. Like old means they all are not free from it. Anyway, So whenever you have, now he told, because I want to relate to something recently what happened. So I told something that I hope this is a common problem and I hope you are not doing this, this is not happening in you. Yes, Bhante, this is not happening. But he's doing something like saving a mosquito and killing an elephant, And he's sort of not doing that, but he's doing something worse. It's more damaging. So, but though it is not in the scriptures directly, but what the effect you are getting is more damaging. So it's through the internet. So when he heard that, I will explain again just shortly. Like I met a particular, or I had a contact with a certain, like I don't know whether you know about rishis or like people who are, because I have some experience with the Hindu yogis. This was half part of my system, and then with the bhikkhus and the Dhamma. So this particular person has a personal ability to, now we all have behind invisible certain forces coming behind us, but we don't normally perceive them, but what we are doing from our actions, we can know what is behind us. Okay? So this particular person makes these particular beings enter into the body and possess, then he's not conscious, that person talks. I'm sure in these countries, I asked them, they don't have these experiences. So anyway, when they speak, sometimes the mother has brought the son who is going astray and all that, and telling him to. So when he gives this energy and this person talks, confesses, he tells, yes, I am in this body, I am using this body, and to see, I'm the one who is making him to go to the nightclub or to gambling or to bed, something. And then when they ask, how did you enter? When did you enter? At the age of 13 or something. When he was, one occasion he says, through Facebook. Telling you honestly, I only know the name Facebook. I know to operate YouTube. YouTube, I think YouTube I know. But other than that, but I don't want to touch that, because I don't want to set a bad example. Because the instrument is not a problem. It is the raga, dosa, moha, greed, hate and delusion. If you use anything now you can use a vehicle to come to a monastery, and you can use a vehicle to go to some bad place. So it's up to you where you use, but most of our minds are not enlightened. It's with this poison, and so we have to have some knowledge and sort of pre-analysis about the damage, the danger that happens. Then we have the kind of breaks. Others, all the advertisements and wrong ideas given by unenlightened and greedy people, manipulating, the minds of the whole society, you will be just, drained with all the energy, drained out, I mean. So, what happened? So that Facebook, he says. Then another occasion, he's telling one spirit, when they put into his body, he's telling, what was it? I entered through when he's playing games. So, like this, I was very games, the characters or something, they take into the form of the characters. So you can look like this. If any activity, the mind, if you activate the level of greed to a certain pitch, level of hate, maybe fighting, like just like meditation, when you do a lot of metta, you enter the Brahmaloka, the higher dimensions of devatas, because you are having the same mind as the devatas that time. So you open that dimension. So when you think, you have the human body, but when you think at a level of those demons, definitely you will be connecting to them. So we only know normally when we are tempted to go to something and do something and have habits, we want to do it again, this urge comes. Then we must know definitely we have some demonic problem. Okay? Because when you think like this, when you get a fear, actually it is happening, then when the temptation comes, you get a determination not to do it. Because normally we may think maybe just as a matter, I do this and do that. This is for a small moment, and then we just sort of make it justify it. We justify it so that we are not guilty or feel any this thing. So normally we have to think like this, that's going to damage us, and avoid it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, then 1 week. Then we are going to patch up the holes in our character. You see, we have made these holes in our character, then when we patch up like that, we are creating the foundation for tranquility, and we are getting energy, we are not having energy loss, and surely whatever we do in life is going to be okay. So I just told in short form those things you should know. And what is the thing I was going to do now? This meditation, right? Okay, you all want to, sorry? Because I told a lot of points. And other thing is, if some fault you repeat again, and if something happened, don't feel you are like undone, like everything is gone, boom, no. If you feel like that, that feeling is really, that makes it happen like that. If something like that happens, okay, because you're attached to an expectation, you're expecting to be like that and it doesn't happen, it just breaks, then you think like, oh, you're back to square one. So important thing is that you don't repeat it again, and the other thing is you don't worry about it. These two things are important. You don't worry the mistakes you did, and you don't try to repeat it. That's very important, because it's all our thinking, you see. There are great saints. Before they were saints, they were murderers. You must know this. They, like Angulimala, I don't know, you know the story of Angulimala? In the Buddha's time, he was for 100 fingers, he was a murderer. He was cutting so many people or killing so many people to get the finger, to give it as a gift to the teacher. The teacher asked for it. So anyway, he was a murderer, and Buddha saw him with his compassion. And because of now, what was the cause? He met the Buddha. Buddha gave him proper instruction. And immediately he became an enlightened being, completely pure, born again, I don't know what. So then there's another monk who worried about, he was attached to his robe, and then because of that attachment and worry, he was, they say, reborn as a fly or something, or a kava or something, I don't know what you call it in English. So it's your thinking, you see. If you allow a way of thinking that makes you suffer and negative, that's up to you. You can think in a certain way where it makes things all okay. That's the right thinking. I told you in the airport what happened to me when I was coming from, of course you were not here. So from what is this place, Singapore. There I met a Sri Lankan. Of course he came to help me, and I don't see him at all now. So later he helped me to find the gate or whatever this thing, and then I found he was in a depressed state. So he has gone to settle his parents. His mother is dead, and some ceremonies in Sri Lanka. And then somebody has sort of taken over, his sister has taken over the house and like that. So he don't know why, he didn't do anything wrong, and how all these things upside down his whole life. So he feels so sad that he can't go back to his maternal mother's home, or he can't go back there. But he's wondering, I know he looks innocent, but he doesn't know why this is happening to him. There's a reason. And he's thinking all these thoughts and he's feeling depressed. So I said, Bhante, I'm having these sort of things. So I said, do you see me now? He said, yes, Bhante, you are standing here. So I said, yeah, this is all what is real now. Just now you just focus. Other things are all you're thinking. Just now you're seeing me with my bag and my begging bowl, and that is all. Just remind yourself, pay that attention, and then maybe you're feeling the air condition there, and just feel it. Other things are all wrong. It is like, you have learned to think wrong way. And then later he was doing these things, and he was telling, oh Bhante, I'm getting some peace. I was very happy anyway, because it's like this, whenever you experience something, it's like a dog looking into a well. When he looks into a well, he sees his own reflection. And he comes out, he thinks there's another dog inside. So actually there's no dog there. Same way, every moment of consciousness, now now even just now, the consciousness you had before is gone, no more. Because of normally you should not have memories. That means you have properly lived. Maybe I'm telling this doctrine to support my brain damage, because I have a good memory loss. I forget people very much. I don't know why, but I feel light with that. But it takes time. It's a little embarrassing sometimes because it takes little time to recall them. And they ask, Bhante, don't you know me? I say, wait. So anyway, I think it's better to forget things. It is better. Now really, this used to happen to me when I lived from Sri Lanka to India. I never traveled outside except when I was in Lesotho when I was a small boy. But as a monk, this is my first travel to a country like this. So when I used to go to India very much, I did go there. I never remember anyone from Sri Lanka very much. I can consciously remind somebody, but I'm focused on the present moment practice. Then when I come from there, nobody from India. But this time I made one trust, for the because now it's getting little bit, people are gathering, and I had to organize some. So I was just thinking, I was having memories of these trust members. I was thinking something is trying to creep my meditation or this peace of mind. It should not come. It should not happen. You should be free. You should not have a place. Your place should be the present moment, enjoying the mental peace. The places are also a perception, an idea in your mind. But when you have this, so those days, many people wanted to make a kutia, or a meditation cell for me. In Sri Lanka, they are waiting to make merit. So one day I used to be a wandering monk, I used to, on the road, my guru was like that, my teacher. So on the road I met a group of people, they got out of their vehicle and then they said, "Oh Bhante, can we make a kutia for you?" I said, no, I never want a kuti. And then I don't want, I want to be free like this. My kutia is whatever shelter I get tonight. And I can call my kutia my body. They said, so they were a little drunk or so, I don't know what. They were like, it's like a holiday place, I was passing that place. And then he actually, they asked, they were forcing me, please Bhante tell, can we? Then I said, yes, I'm making my kutia. You can help me, I told them. Then they asked, where Bhante? I said, inside. It is an attitude. Letting go is your kutia. Letting go things, idea of letting go and escaping attachments and bondages. This way, this mentality you have, now they are having I think now these people are coming again. I don't meet people very often. I don't want to meet people too much. I love people, but I don't want to attach to people. So normally in Sri Lanka, I never met like this, tick, 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 tick. I had one program, then jungle, like this. So I told them, I love you all, okay? So, you can come any amount of times as long as they are under control. Otherwise, I will disappear on my own. It's not your fault. But anyway, like even in the forest, we used to meet sometimes suddenly brother monks. So we used to be happy because we have same mind, same ideas. And suddenly I told one brother monk, I am leaving now. And he said, why? I said, because I like you. And he was also laughing. So what you must know, getting attached or getting connected is a danger. You will have sufferings from it. So you have to be smart and clever so that suffering doesn't come to you. It comes by a cause. Sometimes, you cry for even if a dog or a puppy dies more than a brother or a sister dies, right? I used to experience with this, my cousin. I still picture when I'm talking about it now, when I think about it. She's bringing this Siko, the name of the dog. I was a small boy. I mean, it's like, she's like, I don't know, like the whole world, that you can see the attachment, the suffering that is created by that attachment. So much attachment. Now, for example, when my cousin, he was a commando, or not commando, I'm sorry, a Navy, not Navy, Air Force. No, pilot, he was a pilot. Air Force pilot, yeah. The plane disappeared with 60 commandos during the LTT time. And then my grandmother couldn't, make her mind up. She couldn't make her mind, what is this? She was crying and crying and crying. So I couldn't make, I was meditating that time. So I was able to use the Dhamma and I didn't feel it. I never showed any. I didn't have emotions. It was going to come, but when I applied it from the Dhamma point of view, that's a nice one, but I want to come to this point. Otherwise, I will mix up with another one. So, my grandmother, I couldn't console her. So, one day I told her, we call Achi or Granny, when my grandfather died, you never cried. Then she asked, yes, we remember. She said, no, I have Dhamma and all that. So that's why we thought, though I am not attached. And then I said, you said like that, but you're crying for my cousin. Cousin is your son's son, right? So it's very far away. Your husband is more closer to you. Then she said, yeah, but she, like that, she was crying. Then I showed to her what it is. Because my grandfather used to always scold her, you know. Always, you know, she used to take, he used to take little whiskey, and she used to have to sit down, and then all his depression and everything, he used to scold at her. So actually, she was getting bad feelings from him. So actually, we are attached to feelings, you understand? So then we are selfish, in other words. So when he died, she would have been happy. Of course, for sure. You know, I mean, she would have been happy. So I didn't tell her like that, but anyway, I told just to look at her mind. Then after that, I told, why? Because my cousin, now who is dead, she's very sad. He used to help her. She was so old, and if something happens in the electricity, he used to come and make it. If he used to go to something, to bring something, he used to go and do that. So what we are getting, the good feelings we were getting, that we are missing that. That's the sadness we are getting. You understand? We will never cry for somebody we never saw or never heard. So even after we see somebody and hear, but it should give good feelings. I mean, then we get attached, but come, and then if something happens to that, we face sadness. So it's a natural process, a law. That's why the Buddha, when I see his serious face, I feel a little nervous. I think he must be the moderator. I don't know. No. There's nobody. Where's that gentleman? What happened to him? Adrian, eh? Doesn't. Sorry, he's in a meeting. Okay, right. Okay. No, nobody. Thank you. Because I don't care if you don't invite me tomorrow. I'm happy. But anyway. But I hope I can give you some points and something. I told you something about my forest. What might help you all? What do you want to know?
Experience with the spirits.
With the? With what? Spirits. No, really, I don't want to talk too much about spirits, because even the spirits that are not there will come, Really, what you think, it manifests. I only talk about it, you can ask, what is my experience with gods or devatas? Yeah. That's better. Because at least somewhere up, not down. Now they were going to take me, when I said I want to go to some mystical phase, I mean, I don't know, they know my ideas, what I do go like that, such places, like I thought where the Aborigines are there, at least the forest, I could. I'm kind of a weird person, So anyway, they told me the nearby, it's in the north or something, right? Mostly they are this thing. So nearby, they said there's that one port, port something, no? Where they have taken Port C, okay. So they said Port C is a Second World War time. I said I'll have problem because all the spirits will come behind me. This happens to me actually. My body is a bit of that's why the Hindu yogic something in this body, and then so sometimes some things happen that, so if I don't control it, I will feel this thing. It happened to me in the first program in Sri Lanka. I couldn't speak. I was stuck, with all this crowd, not like this, so much people, and they come with great expectation, but they are also not pure people, I feel, and they also, I found they were so anxious to see some miracle or something. So sometimes my reputation is going to something, they want some, all sort of monks are talking all sort of things. So anyway, I was stuck. So I told them, okay, this is my experience. I don't know, I don't know what is happening. I can't speak. Like, I was feeling so tired to even think. So I got to know there's some forces, some energies. Now actually I put these things so that you all get tranquilized and I have some control over you. So you have to. Otherwise, it's like an operation. That's why I tell, now I'm a surgeon, so don't have too many operations for me. It's too much for me. It should be a limited. At least new people. Now old people, operated people come again, no meaning, right? If I operate again, they will fall sick again. This is what will happen. An overdosage. So I said, new people, okay. I spend a new group. According to my certain gurus, only 7 days I should be in a certain area. But I can just manage it in a way, so at least 7 days that area with certain people, then another, like it should change a bit. So anyway, I will talk about, okay, so this sport, this place, I don't know. So I said, no, my goodness, I might not be able to do programs. I don't mind going, I'm there for them, but I have to first think of human beings, not the human beings who are not fallen, who might fall, you must help them now. And then, okay, if you have time, you go to other people. This idea of being is also endless, Your consciousness, there are questions asked by sometimes the Buddha, whether all the beings get liberated or like that. If you think more, how much you think, that much the beings will be there. This is an idea, you create it. You think there's no beings, then it will be no beings for you. The whole world is created by you, That's why we can get liberated. So this is something a little deep, but I will give you some food for thought about the devatas. About the spirit side talk, so that you can recognize your darker side, when you then you get some tangible feeling too that's going to damage me. Now last time I explained that you must know when you get the temptation that there's a negative forces behind you, spirits. And that especially which is connected with sensuality. In the internet you want to press another button. Now that also I heard that those people who enter, those spirits who enter, one of them they said that they are like soon as you press that page or something, or you're in that page, in the internet you have like, I don't know, page. So then those spirits are in control. That those that demons actually, that they are fully controlling when you soon as you enter that page or something, enter, right? So you must think whenever you're not even going to peek, you have to keep away. Before that, even when you touch the computer, if you know you can't control, then leave it, don't touch it. Like us, go to some library, I had to call him, I had told him just to bring the laptop, and I said soon as I finish that, then take it, because in the room I don't want to have this. But I feel guilty also to tell him to bring like this. I'm doing it like a secret, but now it's open to all of you. Because if Sri Lanka they know, they will faint also. This Bhante having laptop? I don't want never to have that reputation. I want to show the power of the ancient monks. They are sacred force. And so anyway, the spirits I talk about, so that you get an idea when you get the temptation that you're not going to do it, it's going to destroy you. So that you can keep away 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and they don't get food. And then they will leave. Then the habit will be gone. So that you get that feeling only. I'm explaining all these things about the spirits. Not that I don't want you to think too much about them, because then when you think, it will materialize more. So, the devatas, okay, I will tell something. Something about my personal life. to say it. It started even in Lesotho. Okay, I'll tell you that one. Because when I was going to high school, it's my beginning of my meditation. So I had this spirit of, I was so curious, searching what is, I knew that the world is going on in a certain order. So I want to know what it was. So I got interested in physics. So relativity was something that fascinated some of my father's friends or lecturers in the university. They were talking about this subject and it really fascinated me. And especially about the time dilation. I don't know whether you know about relativity. Einstein's, it's some about the effect that when at relativistic speeds you have this effect, the time gets stretched or whatever. I mean it slows down. So anyway, this aspect was interesting for me. And then I used to read my mother's, other books about old. My mother was very religious, so she had all these books about the sutras and all that. So one sutra, it's about Buddha being met by one of the devatas, Sakra, king of gods, Indra, from the Tavatimsa realm. Now they look fairy tale if you read like that, okay? But it explains 1,000 years on earth is one day there like that. There is a sort of then such months, such years like that, and lifespan longer than here. Now, but when you know about that time dilation is a possibility, not a possibility, it's a fact now, it's been proven. So that it becomes very clear now how this order of lifespan and all that has been not by chance. So this gave me that these realms do exist. Now I have been only thinking about these things. I didn't study anything in class or anywhere. So now what happened to me was, that time IGCSE, we were the first batch. Cambridge Syndicate, I don't know, you all must be having it now also. We were the first batch. In that exam, nobody fails. Do you know that? I think, right? You have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You have that, okay? I think you all have it now. I think that is the one, no O-levels. Then anyway, I did so this was the exam. Now after 2 days it was English literature and English language paper. So in the night I used to have the syllabus, midnight syllabus and the old test papers of English. But if I tell you this, for students it's not good, It might not be good. English language and English literature, I had old test papers. And then mentally I focus slowly, through relativity. Now I know it's true. So from that, these realms do exist. And when I felt firm confidence that this realm do exist, I know I'm connected. You understand? I don't think so, but you will understand. So when I felt I'm immediately connected, that time I knew it's very powerful, those realms, and I can do anything. So there I immediately took the old test papers and I don't know how to say it, approximate the English literature essay, for essay about 40 marks. Essay title, English and English language essay title. These two. Wrote. So next day I told my father to go to my tutor and write 2 essays. I didn't tell all this what I did. Write 2 essays under these 2 headings. So my father also went, and my tutor also wondered why I have not studied everything, just this focusing on these 2. And there he wrote, of course, to this thing. After 2 days I came and all the papers are sealed and they come all together, right? And then when the paper came and I opened, these 2 headings are there. So that was my first connection actually. I got confidence, like the universe is in my hand. So these 2 headings, now even that teacher must be dead and gone now. He was he must have wondered, he never questioned me how I got to know. He's the one who wrote. So he never questioned me, but he would have wondered how he knew this thing. Maybe he thought by accident. But that was my beginning meditation, I would call it. But that didn't give an idea for me to be a monk. But based on this, I had another experience in the same close period, just regarding the impermanence of things. And that made me this. It took some time, but it was the spark Otherwise, I wanted to be a physicist, so I because I thought that's the only way to find some truth. And those days, Einstein was my Buddha. I still admire him. I think he's somebody. It was like he told, how will the world look like if I ride on a beam of light when you were 16? Interesting, no? Now recently, when I thought about it, and another thought came to me: how will the world look like if I don't have any greed in my mind? No, isn't it? It's interesting, right? If I don't have any hate in my mind and greed, that emotions, how will I see the world? Will I see men and women? Will I see colors or will I appreciate those things? If you're in a very really higher state of that, we will not. Those things are there to activate greed and aversion and so on. Those perceptions. So that's one, but shall I tell an interesting one? That's little, when I was not very challenging. But I told you I went through LTT, right? There are so many. Without the gods, I can't follow this path. They are the ones who see you through and help you. Or they are there, they will follow you. So normally as monks, when we go, especially Pindapat, Pindapat, arms round, we don't wish anything for us. Because that time, when we don't have wishes, anything we wish will happen. It's funny, when you don't wish, you have the power of wishing anything. But when you have such a mind, you'll be wishing for others. You're like a Christmas tree. Anyway, so normally, my teacher has told us all how it happens. There's mechanism when we go Pindapat, how the devatas, gods help you and support you. So one day I want to test it a little bit. Little bit test means I just curious, So while going, I just thought of, curd. Curd? We were going in one place. Just the thought come, I don't know whether curd with, we have treacle in Sri Lanka. Curd, forget curd is okay, I was going. Suddenly a van came and skidded, It's like a highway or whatever, in Maharagam, I don't know, Sri Lanka. One man jumped out, he just came running, and he offered me something. I looked at it to see, those clay pots, curd. Oh God, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm never going to think like this here after. I said, please, if you all are there, I don't want curd, I want to, give my life to this particular way. This is the way of truth and practice. And this is one experience, but there are so many. But I will tell you one which always strikes my mind. Only now it's working, is it? Or when I'm close. Now you hear me, right? So in one time in 2003, I happened to cut across LTT. You know the LTT? You have heard, I think. We had Sri Lanka, we had 30 years of war. So I was going as in the Thai tradition you have Tudong, like wandering monks. So I was practicing that. Actually, our whole life is like that. My teacher in Sri Lanka, it's not a popular movement. Popular means nobody is doing, not many. In the ancient time, they know. So my teacher did it all life, and I followed him. And so on one of my trips like that was from south of Sri Lanka to the north, took me 30 days to go and 30 days to come. So 98 kilometers is the LTT control area. They actually killed many monks also to retaliate. When they had problems there, they went to the villages, and they have done like that in the past. So they also killed one, some Japanese or some, that who are with the gong. He has gone inside, but he has tried to fight, like kung fu or something, and they have shot him. But these things I didn't know when I entered. I didn't know. I was just, I was just wandering with my spirits or whatever. Anyway, I entered through the area. I don't want to go through what happened there. Many things happened. I go to that Deva experience thing. Then I came to north of Sri Lanka, cut across the area. Then that evening, that day I walked 40 kilometers from Pale to Jaffna town. So those monks, they gave me a room and everything, but that was so noisy, that area. It was like a guest house. So I was trying to find a quiet place. So I went to one, when I was walking, there are a lot of Hindus. There was this, Hindu monastery or kovil, they call it, a temple. Old temple. And so I went inside. For me, no problem, church. But it is, because for me, it's not, except bar or other place, these places are opposite. For me, this place is in the direction for me. So I went to this kovil and I was meditating. A nice meditation I had, very good samadhi, and I felt refreshed. And I met that like a priest, He didn't know English and I didn't know his language, Tamil, properly. We spoke in broken English a little bit. So he was surprised I knew something about the Shiva Lingam and the Tantra and the universe, the symbolism of it and so on. So anyway, I went to the monastery, my room, and next day morning, normally daytime I have never fallen asleep. Those days as a monk I was quite strict. Morning while I was meditating, I had a dream. I had fallen asleep, that means. In that dream I saw this this particular person doing some kind of puja, with sticks and all that. And he was touching my forehead. And I was feeling unconscious, I was feeling like no body, like I was going to be like that. But I was frightened, I was just doing like this. But he kept on pressing. And when he kept on pressing, suddenly I lost, I had left my body. But I felt so refreshed and so energized. And actually until that experience, and I woke up, right? Until that experience, I was planning to go by vehicle back to my monastery in the south. This is because another, 700 kilometers. I never thought of walking back. Thought okay. But after this experience, I was feeling like I could fly. So I decided to walk actually. But I was curious whether this priest is some power he's having. So what I did was, I went back walking to that Hindu temple. When I saw him, I suddenly realized it's not that one I saw in my dream. He's more lean and square face. This one is round and little fat. But still I was little talking to him, but little observant. Then I saw a picture behind him. Behind the picture there was this portrait of old, few people wearing white like that. And the person I saw in the dream was in that picture. Then I asked him, who is that person? He said, old, who made this, the original person who made this. And he was telling in broken English that it's like he's pious, and very pure person. He did everything here. And he told this English word, we think he's a deity. So I can't explain more about my dream and everything because so like this, sometimes in old monasteries, one day very hot sun, there are other experiences, I can't tell too many, right? So some realms, some beings do help us when we are going on this path. There are so many if I tell you. Anyway, I hope you get a feeling of it even. But this is important to know, so that you are not alone, that you are watched everywhere. Yeah, so many times there are some people who have told me, okay, I will tell you this anyway. This happened in Nepal. I used to, before Kailash Mansarovar, for high altitude, I used to prepare my body. Now I have no interest of making this body. But because of my attachment to Kailash Mansarovar, I do exercise before the trip, especially so that my heart is working. So I used to jog. Now if I tell this, it will be a problem with our Sri Lankan community. But no problem. I have no community. Anyway, so early mornings around 4 o'clock I used to leave. So when I used to leave, I had this, I had a black, dark thermo. And so I happened to do the exercise and come back. So I had a meeting of certain, I think a noble person. Sometimes anywhere, some people I happen to meet them. Like a rishi, I would say. So he said, oh, I saw you happily jogging in early morning. For him also it was like a joke. you're a monk, sir. and then he told me like, happily, it's true. Exactly, my mental state was true. I was very happy, of course, preparing my body for not for some sensual thing, is for some spiritual thing. And two times you tied your lace. Wondering now who? I thought nobody was there. I was going alone. And there was one place, one bridge. So exactly, I was very irritated with the trekking shoes, because the lacing was coming. So I just this thing, and again one place nobody can see. It's like an alley. I still remember. Then again this was loose. Then I I was irritated and I tied it. Said, there near the alley you tied again. I was so shocked. Then this I used to tell, Also he told me this dark black color is not good for you. You must wear similar color to your robes. When I told this story for my devotees, because I told them to know that such a things are there, that you're not alone, don't do bad things, people record you. There's a video, in the divine world. Don't get caught to that video camera. Because, so when you're in toilet or anywhere, be careful, that's important. And that will help you, it will strengthen your consciousness, and those connections will come to you strongly. And then your meditation will also improve, because it's based on that, purity within you, that you have nothing hidden and kind of thing. For me, it's a little boring, this. Let me think of something. Sometimes maybe I'm repeating same things, and for me it's boring. I want to find a new one that will entertain me also. Anything you want to know? Maybe the God's thing is okay? Okay.
About meditation?
Yes. About meditation?
Yeah.
For foundation, the meditation foundation only I told, if you have terrible sensual things, you have to be careful. That's one thing. And especially brahmacharya is also very important. But I don't want to talk this topic too much, but it's also necessary. But I can tell you small tips. Now we have the monkey mind. Normally to stop the monkey mind, we must, this sense control practice, this is called Indriya Samvara Sila in the normal technical term. The step you have to practice. It's called, you don't take the details from your senses, especially your eyes. I can look at you like this, I see your details, but I can look at you like this, I don't see any details. So normally when you're walking a pathway or somewhere, you'd see two people coming, but you don't recognize who they are. Like when you're crossing the place, you see the vehicle going, but you don't have to see who is inside the vehicle. Like that you learn to discriminate. I think I told you before, normally in Sri Lanka, something interesting I'm coming to now, at least about the Dhamma. So in Sri Lanka, I used to go for walks or sakman or meditation, walking meditation, to one hall from the monastery where I'm staying near the beach. It's a nice place. So I used to pass a restaurant. So normally when you pass that, normally when you're going, there's so much pollution, in Sri Lanka, not like here also, I think the exhaust, they don't have any, so normally you keep your mouth closed, so it strains and then goes into your system. So when I was walking, we do that normally. So now this, from the restaurant, the smell of the food, it's coming. So we know a certain practice, how to do this, we must do it. Normally I tell with food and sex actually, the reptilian brain is working. You can see the tongue and this organ, they are similar. Sexual desire is first, then comes food. Actually more than all that, there's one. If anyone tells the right answer, I'll be so surprised. Maybe I should give them a present. Really. Other than these two, there is something more stronger. The demon, how he catches you, the strongest attraction, desire or something. Can anyone guess? It's a nice quiz. It's interesting. I would not expect.
Memory?
Sorry?
Memory?
No, something that is tempting. Right? Something very tempting and that possesses your, what is this, brain too much. Sorry? Ragi, yeah, that is okay. I told, other than these two, sensual desire and, sexual desire and food. Okay? Which one you think? Sorry? Smell? But this part of all these two, no? You get smell from food and I don't think. Huh? Ego is little close, but it's not exactly. Sorry?
There's a hand up here.
Yes.
Satisfying a hobby?
Sorry?
Satisfying a hobby?
I'm sorry, I am an old man now, I can't hear. Satisfying?
Hobby.
Yeah, hobby, I know, satisfying. Yeah. Attachment to your hobby, or is it like that?
Yes.
Okay. It's also quite good. Sorry? Yeah. Ego is very close, but which boosts your ego, okay? Something that boosts your ego. What is it? Sorry? What boosts your ego? No, these are all different words for the same thing you're telling, right? What boosts it?
Achievements.
Sorry?
Achievements.
Okay, but with achievement, what comes? What comes from achievement, you get this. Now you're telling the effects. Conceit. Okay. Okay. What did you say? Right. Yeah. Sorry? No, praise. Like labha satkara. In Sinhala you call it labha satkara, or this is gain and fame. Understand? This it really catches you. Strongest one. Fame, yeah, fame. Fame, gain, praise. Yep. So if you want to catch somebody, tell, oh, you're very handsome. So, okay. You don't need to give chocolates or anything. Just that is the best bait. This is dangerous. So you have to be very careful. People coming and worshipping you and all these things. If you want to really progress. So normally there are nice similes. You must read the original text also and find it with real life. Now many monasteries fight with monasteries, monks with monks, based on this. And if you recall your own emotions, you will also find. This is so strong and powerful, important. So where was I? What I was going to explain now? I went out of track. Sorry? Yeah, I was explaining the restaurant, okay? So you get used to my kind of picture there, and then I'm putting like this. So you have to help my memory sometimes, because this is the way I talk. I have so many pictures. It's coming spontaneously, and then... So I will tell about what happened to me when I was going in the restaurant, the food. So these two things. Now, when you're walking, so normally to avoid carbon dioxide or what, you'll be closing your mouth. And when I'm closing my mouth, from the restaurant, the smell is coming. Now normally we have a practice, we should not smell it. Because when the smell, we notice the smell. Now some of them tell, Bante, we tasted or we looked at something and then we reflected impermanence and all that. I call them, they have been shot already. You are not fast enough. You're not strong enough. That sati, that mindfulness is not strong enough. You have already, then you're having a broken virtue, broken sacrifice. It's not a full sacrifice. Sacrifice means you give up that feeling entirely, feeling it. That is a sacrifice. You give up the feeling entirely, feeling it completely, you're not feeling it at all. Then only you have succeeded in that sacrifice. And when your sacrifice is successful, your sila, or your virtue is perfected. When you have a perfect virtue, you have a perfect concentration. When you have perfect concentration, you have perfect wisdom. When you have broken virtue, you have broken concentration, you have broken wisdom. So this is how things work. So anyway, so when we go, there's a practice, this is called Indriya Samvarsi, you cut the feeling completely. Now what happened to me, when I was going, okay, the smell came through here. So then what I did was, I opened my mouth, because this, more than carbon what is this dioxide? No, carbon dioxide is. This is. I mean, carbon dioxide is better than this smell. You understand? So this what I did is true. If you are really practicing, this will be more important for you because that activates desire, passion, and it damages your mental body. This is physical body is nothing. It's just so I opened my mouth. But another problem was this was so strong. I don't know how these cooks, they are so clever. This coming from my mouth, it was touching my nose or something. I'm getting the smell from inside. So I decided not to breathe in that room. I do this really, you see. So I'm telling you some techniques. Why? Now when you manage to overcome these two, because if you allow the smell, what brain will be working? The reptilian brain. When the reptilian brain is working, it is well found that the thinking brain and the analyzing brain gets damaged. It's interesting in the MRI scan. So when you block that, then you can study the reality of what is going on. This satipatthana in the Buddha's meditation of mindfulness and contemplation. How do you contemplate? Now this food, the attraction to all that is an illusion. Now we can see what happens, the so-called thing, when it goes into the mouth. I can reflect. Now it becomes, paste and whatnot, vomit actually. Now this can be pictured when you don't get caught by the smell and the picture of the food. Now normally for food it's also the picture. Nobody advertises what is in the toilet, right? do they collect that toilet thing, sewers into the advertisement? No one will go to the restaurant, okay? Nobody will go. So just think of it. I mean, so this is one for food. For women it is, or men also, sorry. You have the, what is this? Deodorant, right? I mean, scents, Scents you put, why do you have to put scent? Because something smelling. And then why do you have to put all these cloths or what time, I don't know, dressing up? I mean, no one wants to meet anyone just as they wake up, right? Nobody want to. They'll let you clean up and so on, and then, put everything up. And so, for food also, it's the picture of the food and the smell of the food. If you cut that, you can contemplate, you can study the reality. The cutting that is called Indriya Samvara Sila. That is the sense control practice. This is a very big practice. So this, when you can do like that, then you can see what is going on in your mouth. You will see the vomit and then automatically you will have dispassion. You will not taste the food. You will already be detached from the food. Your brain will be alert. I think I talked about it before you all went for taking today lunch, right? So this is a basic requisite for meditation. So this is now other things like if you're watching TV and addicted to these things and getting distracted by so many, draining a lot of energy. So they become habits, and then definitely you have certain spirits also accompany you. So one by one, you have to remove these things. So I told in some discourses, when you look a mad person to the society, then you're on the right track. When the people see you like you're a fanatic going to these retreats and this and that, then you're at least on something safe. But if they are telling you okay and looking okay, finish. You're all going. Really, it's not a joke also. So I hope something about meditation, but I will do the meditation also. Something we'll do. We have how many, about half an hour. Sorry?
Now 2:05.
We have about half an hour, no? 2:30. 2:30, is it? We started at what? 12:30, no? 1:30? 2? 2:30, okay. 2 hours. All right. Yes.
But just now you were saying about making meditation tasty, and there was, before you came in, there was clip of
Yeah.
chanting with music.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit about that and making meditation tasty?
Okay. I think it's very not obvious, is it? It is obvious. It's like actually to create saddha, the faith aspect, and attract. So normally it is connected with the Buddha guna, the qualities of a Buddha, his compassion. These are the qualities we admire, and to bring out these qualities, bring out this particular in some form. Now, so it depends, how to bring that taste. It can be brought by so many ways. It depends on the person also. Some things trigger this person. Now I tell somebody, I would recommend somebody, I don't know who is that person's name. No more drama, no more, what was it? Something there is. You can find some music even, because some of these musicians also, they have gone through a lot of crisis or tragedy and all that. That made genius in them. So it is some meaningful about life and its suffering. So it might relate to your life and it might trigger these feelings. And that might activate, now that activates this, so normally I create an atmosphere or where the, like your certain energies will start to activate. So that even a small baby comes will feel the, the certain, so this is something that I call meditation rock concert. And so that, I don't know whether you have any programs like that. So I don't want to make a dull, want to mix it. Now I am not come yet to that certain practice. So because today in this modern day, I think people need more warming up. They have gross obstacles. So if they don't need, they need more time for warming up and getting inspired and this thing. And then they could maybe touch that original one and get some experience from it. So you directly give it to them, they, and today especially to think positively. That's very important. Like we very much think, what we are doing, what has happened to us, and so we don't know some things have happened for our good. We don't recognize that, and that this is the way it should happen to us. Now one gentleman, he complained to me yesterday that some big problem, but then I asked when he married with his wife and certain people, I asked when he married, was his parents happy? He said yes, they were there for the marriage. Wife was happy? Yes. Wife's parents? Yes, they were there, sir. He told me like this. He said, okay, this is the best what should happen to you. I can see your roots are okay, but even if you married if something else happened to you, this is going to happen to you. You have to experience this. This is a lesson. But I can tell if they made a mistake in their roots, then that's they have done a mistake. So, like this, the people are, they have to accept, when they get to have this knowledge to accept the situation they are in, that is the best that should happen to them, and they are in the best condition. They should be convinced with that. So when they have suddenly this thought, suddenly the dullness goes from their mind. It's just a simply, but they should be convinced with that. So this is something where you, in a way, positive thinking to bring. And as I told you, when you have such thinking, you can reach liberation. It is not that whether you have done a lot of good to reach liberation. Whether you can think positively. If you have done a lot of bad, you might reach liberation if you can think positively. You understand? Write this down. Okay? Even if you have done very bad, if you can think positively, because this is coming out of me, I don't think nobody has told this before. So maybe anyway, just keep this in mind. If you have done a lot of bad things and you think positively, you can get liberated. If you have done a lot of good and you can think, you are thinking negatively, you might miss liberation. So it's all depending on the way you think, how you take things. Normally we think negatively because of a lot of ego. But when we, so normally that's why, like, to make this emotion, as I call the Milo, I don't know, you have it here, of normally I have to change this also, right? It's the different, but I need a certain type which brings certain, like the compassion of the Bodhisattvas and the Buddha and the Arahant, the masters. So this, it depends on your own life also. You have to bring that and that mood and effect. And so you have to learn to do that, and then you get suddenly a bliss from it. So you have to learn to create bliss out of it. You can't just put material into your cooking pot, you must make tasty food. So to do that, you have to know the type of food. So this is how, in the beginning, you learn to, now I can also energize you all again, I'm thinking, if again and again, so that you get a certain kind of, and then you get into, that automatically. So that is where you project the inner samadhi outside. So that is helpful for me when people are focused, you understand? So then they can easily, I went through a lot of suffering to do this. So that others will not go through this suffering I have gone through. There are times in the caves I have lifted my breath, there's nothing, and just waited like this all night because it's glacial. we are not used to properly covered, we are coming from the Asian, this thing with scanty this cloth. Like this waited next morning, and sometimes take cold water, put into my mouth and keep it, warm it through my body temperature and swallow. So these are some things I did now. What I am doing now, that's why sometimes they might not know, they might think it's like normal, because certain life I live to do now to come and do this for all of you. So that, and that is where I'm trying, that easily, with a smooth way, that you could come to the original words. This is my purpose. I don't want you to now, they asked me, Bhante, I told them, don't give these cassettes, don't recommend them. I'm only giving an idea what to do. They can find their own inspiring, just to give an idea before they start their meditation, find some inspiring verses, some song or something, so that you don't just immediately sit down. And you do the walking meditation more, so that you get a warming up more and more, and then sit down. So that, because just sitting down, if you don't get the result, is waste. You should learn to find the time to sit down, so that you get some result and you don't want to get up. You come to a feeling where you don't want to get up, or to open your eyes. So if you can, when you reach that, you will be a meditator, you will be hooked to meditation. Because people don't get this intense experiences, they are driven to these lower pressures. I was meeting you, and I thought he has replaced you, and I was a little frightened, because he was looking so serious. The reason was he was so serious, I thought maybe some judge came here. I was telling this, who is this monk who has come? Sorry, I'm... You must be from Malaysia also, I think. Yeah? You must be from Malaysia? Or?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Buddha, you have to... And you must learn to relax your body, in every situation. When you're driving, I taught this, some of them, when they're driving the vehicle and all that, he's not here. He's not here, because you have to learn to do the meditation while you're doing activity. This is important. Normally we think only sitting, no. You must learn to walk without feeling tired. You must learn to talk without feeling tired. You must learn to cook, sweep without feeling tired mentally. That means, you have, that's why from the morning you must start with some reciting, chanting, getting to some form, like brushing and washing your face. You must do those practices and then touch your work. And when you do that, you have quality work, quality life, you have peace of mind. And so when we were driving, so suddenly, I don't want to talk while they are driving, but I was thinking I must teach them something, So what happened, I did touch his forehead. I told, now you learn this. And anyway, not him, there's another gentleman. And then just relax. Just watch what you need to watch. Now there's a practice you can do. And then relax, feel the seat that you're seated. and then focus. You'll be more focused, but relax. See the comfortable feeling of being relaxed in seated posture. Now, and then suddenly I saw his hands were like this. No, now he got an idea of little bit. And then I had a good ride because not like now just smooth, you see. So it was actually, now I'm having a smooth ride, you know. Now all of them have become calm, I don't know how. So this is nice. The persons around you also feel comfortable. And so this had to be trained, you know, because we have been trained to do this, do that quickly. So that mindset has been too much taking our system. So we had to undo this. Can come? Please come.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
How was the meeting?
No, it was just okay. It was just a committee meeting. It was good.
It was okay.
Yeah.
And
committee is always a good thing. I mean, good for Dhamma.
Yeah, Dhamma committee, no problem, right?
Dhamma learning.
Okay. But I'm going to demonstrate something because just something. You can come near me. Because you are like a neutral person. It's easy for me.
Yeah.
Can you come a little closer, please?
Okay.
You can sit down and just you have to relax, okay?
Okay.
Just I'm going to
relax.
No, it's just a lot of gadgets in my pocket. Is it off already? Sorry.
come here. Here, it's okay. Yeah, you just have to relax. Don't pay any attention to what I'm doing, okay? I'm not going to kill you. Just only the way you know to relax, just relax. Just forget that you're here. Just relax. No need to worry about anything. There's a crowd or there's Bante. Just take all the tension out. Just focus to your mind alone. That's the body. Leave it, let it be. Don't try to relax also. Just stay in front of a beach or something. Think like that. That's better. Okay. This is important. First, you have to, physically, so it's okay. Just relax.
I passed the test.
Sorry?
I passed the test.
Not pass, you already passed, but I reminded you that you passed. Matat, you can do me a favor. I don't want to trouble him. He passed the test, now you have to pass it, right? What you do, you lift this hand and lift up till here. Not now, wait. Up till here and just drop it, okay? Don't worry if it falls or whatever. Make ussala, එහෙම අතරින්. උඩ කුට්ටට උස්සලා. ආයි උඩට උස්සලා අතරින්. Okay, he's better than me. Right, just relax, okay? That's important. You must try to do this. You should when you're lying in the bed, this is very good for anything, even for cancer, and for many things, many diseases. And it gives you the right start for meditation. The first, Kaya Viveka, Buddha says, relaxing the body, then Chitta Viveka. So this is very important, I think. These basic things in the text it is there, but today we need to really specially focus and develop these things, so that, and when we should be done when you're walking. You should walk in a pace where you feel mentally peaceful. Check that pace. And when you're driving, and when people look at you, they should feel peaceful. Once in the monastery, one monk, so I am also sometimes my brother monks, or one brother monk, one lady has come into the monastery. So she was not very respectful to this monk, like in Sri Lanka, monks also expect respect. That's another problem. So anyway, so she came, maybe she had some problem, So she came and called the monk like this. Okay. So this monk, he's a very young orthodox monk, but he's also a good thinker. He said, what happened now? Then he waited. Then she not removed her footwear, anything. So she had brought some money, I think, and just, come. Then he went there and said, you must know manners. In Sri Lankan language, please, you should know manners or something. And he gave the money, or keep the money somewhere hidden, and you must know manners. He has told like this. Then something, I don't know what happened. Anyway, he told me what happened when I was taking my breakfast. He told me, Bhante, something like this happened. I said, yeah, these days all sort of people come, can't help it. Maybe that person was in some disturbance, and or never come to monasteries. So I tried to cool him down. Then he said, but I said, you should not have not told, or I think something I told, Then he said, yeah, Bhante, I told, but I had no anger inside me, he told me. So I had no anger, Bhante, inside me. I said, yeah, it may be so, but it should not show others also that you are angry. You understand? Your real anger is not there in you when people don't feel that you are angry. You understand? Because inside anger sends the vibrations. But if it's really cool, it will not show. They will not feel that you are angry. So others should see that you are not angry also. Not only that you think, oh, I'm not angry inside, but they're not done. Do you understand? It's very important to know that level of not being angry. I told you, I don't know, maybe last group, that from the age of 18, I had some experience after that to now. Before going to India this time, it was 4 times that I have scolded somebody. Okay, like getting angry. Of course, you scold because you get anger, right? So, but I can boast because some people tell me, Bhante, every day more than 4 times we have scolded people. But it was not going to happen 5 times, I was thinking, until I pass away. But the 5th time also happened, because I think I have some bad karma with taxi drivers, And the same thing happened with the taxi driver. They were cheating or something, but maybe I was too tired, or still this defilement is not gone in my system. So this is the 6th time. Now I have to go to 6th time before one dies. So normally anger comes, the way the person is angry, you can know his desires. Actually, removing anger, to remove anger is not metta. To originally remove it is to remove attachment. For every occasion where you feel irritated or angry, it is attachment that is the cause of it. So for attachment is illusion. So this attachment, you have to, so anywhere now, for example, I was in Buddha Gaya, and in Buddha Gaya, they have this Pirit chanting, what is this? Pali chant, Pali. So every once in a year, they have this, all the monks get together from all traditions, and they have this called Tripitaka chanting. So the organizer, she was, she thought, she met me and she said, oh Bhante, I'm sorry, maybe our program disturbed you very much. And I said, why? Because there's so much sound and, chanting and all that. Then I told her, because she thought I'm a forest monk and in so much silence and so on. I said, attachment to silence is a big sound. You understand? So real sound is attachment, and detachment is the real silence. So it's if sound comes, then if you attach to some mental peace, then you should know to let go. That is your problem. You are attached to this. That's why you feel irritated by the sound. So you must see always your fault, why you are getting this irritation. Maybe with your children, with your family or whatever. You should know you. Now I told about food, no? To control the tasting and eating. If you really didn't taste the food and you munched using your teeth, and then you saw the sort of, when it touches only you get the consciousness and it's just not me, that's a temporary feeling. You'll find that your attachment to your children and your home and everything will diminish. You'll see the illusion behind it. But when you taste the food, you feel other things also real. All the sensual things also become solidified, also real. So it's a very nice connection. When you detach from these things will fall off from you and you find so much peace. So now his time is passing so fast. Would you like to do a meditation, which I did in... Okay. This is also meditation, a little bit talking. And any more questions? Anyone like to ask something? Sorry?
When we do the meditations, when we come to go for the vipassana side,
yes.
And how it looks.
How to look?
When we meditate and getting the samadhi,
yeah.
And how to go for through the samadhi to the vipassana.
That's okay. Actually, you don't go like that. You do, when you're doing samadhi, you do only samadhi. And vipassana separately. So they will just mix together. Yeah. When you're doing...
Samadhi, how can we go for that?
It will go automatically. This is normally, I know many places this question comes. It's like this. Our guide is, actually we don't know. I will explain one way. Another monk will explain another way. You will meet another person, he will explain another way. So we know the original source of this knowledge is who? You know who? The Buddha. I mean, if you come here. So the Buddha, it's not just anyone you ask what the Buddha said. All this knowledge comes from a certain literature. And that is the sutras. It's well known that is the original words of the Buddha. Now the scholars also who know about language and all that, science about language, they also, it is very clear about that. But if you practice, if you get some intuitive experience of those words, you will know that this is really live Buddha there. It's a long story if I tell about it, but I'll be practicing of part of it now. At least quickly, I hope, because you don't have time. I need at least 4 hours, but I don't think your committee might. Anyway, I will quickly stop it. So this suttas, they are. The reason is they are so far away now, 2,500 years back. Normally, we don't feel immediately inclined to that. So at least a translation of it, like Word of the Buddha by Gnanaloka, this book. You must have this as a handy book. It has a structure, and this book you must take. This is your guide. He's your master. Not to rely on anybody. And then Samyutta Nikaya by Bhikkhu Bodhi. This is a wonderful translation, but not just to read it. Take parts of it and apply it in your real life. There's not much time, as I told you, to tell how I have to apply this in the jungle when I was damaged. There's no person. But I'll be doing that practice I did that time to get peace of mind and face death. I was thinking I'm going to lose my life. So I'm going to do it quickly. And then, because that brought a lot of peace. I had samadhi that time, but samadhi doesn't work, in a crisis situation. This vipassana, observing the very pain and feeling, and that is so powerful. So even when I was in high altitude now, 2015, when I faced no oxygen and I was going to die, this practice comes as bringing quickly peace of mind. And then you are accepting, you are observing, it works. So then when you do that, you can use that vipassana to go to samadhi to vipassana. Like that you can change also. Change means after doing it, you can do like that. So normally, when you're reading the suttas, those particular sections of skandha, salayatana, paticca samuppada, have you heard of these terms? That is already you are exercising the vipassana part of it. But you must learn to apply it to your present moment. What you're reading, they are like signposts. And when you constantly apply, when you are really applying, you will get a coolness in your forehead. That means you feel lighter. That means you have applied, and what you were hanging on to, holding to, that will fall off. You must see whether that effect is happening when you are applying and properly reflecting. When you are properly reflecting, you will get an immediate kind of, physical pleasure. That is because you have let go something you were holding. Because we have invisible hands mentally towards our body and feelings and perceptions. Those hands should be released. That happens when you have right reflection and right contemplation. So when you must see whether the effect you are getting, and when you apply it properly, you will find tranquilized when you finish the sutta. You understand? Not the chanting and all that. No, you must get that these are signposts to focus. So when you are doing that practice, and when you are walking meditation, you can nicely apply that. And then when you are sitting, it's nice to practice metta, Buddhagun, like this, some music like that, and some devotion to the Buddha, and then metta, and then little bit anapanasati. Just leave it like that. Then read the suttas again. Then little bit meditation, like that. Don't try to change to this and that. No thing. Just focus on that and fully master that. But when these things grow, something will happen automatically. You understand? It will happen automatically. So I can't tell you the long stories of how in the jungle we read and meditate. Like that, it goes in hand in solitude. So at times you will get some result, and you have to be brainwashed also, in the positive sense. That means unconditioned, because many, now even the Anitya, now yesterday when I was speaking, some of them, I took the original text from the Nidana Vagga, and I was going through, now my main mission is to teach you how to get that thinking, that deep thinking. Yoniso Manasikara it is called. That is how to do it, because we mistake it. Now when I ask them, taking the sutta and how to allow it to come from inside you, to get the answer from inside, the empty something inside you. So when that sutta asks, the Buddha asks, what is the base, what is the cause of old age and death? Of course, birth. But it should be seen in your mind. Now when I asked this, when I was reading and trying to, then they immediately answer birth. I don't want answers like that. It should be that you should be able to see it within your mind. Like you have to be a Einstein yourself. And or a Newton yourself, you have to get the experience. So for that, you don't be in a hurry that you have heard from some, teachings or something. You don't answer like that. You have to learn to see it in you. Now birth and death will come. What is the cause? That's how those original monks saw. And they had that Dhamma eye, Dhamma vision. So that's why when you're reading the suttas, it's not like a lesson, You should meditate and read. If it goes both hand in hand, you will get some idea. Especially when your mind is distracted, you must read the suttas. And then you must go in back when you're fresh. But reading should be not all the suttas. Regarding those, analyzing those, you must apply. About stories, you must skip, Like you should know which one to focus and which one to sort of skip and like that. So, any more questions? I think we already passed the time. Give me 10 minutes, it's okay? We have passed the time, no? We quickly do something. So I just demonstrated that just relaxing, can you get an idea of it? You find that unconsciously you tighten yourself, you can relax, release yourself. Sit in a comfortable posture. If you want to, keep your legs straight, it's okay. But at least the back straight, so that you will not fall asleep. While you were eating, you didn't fall asleep, did you? In meditation, I found many they didn't. They are very interested. I notice, very interesting. Take a deep breath. Namo. With the up breath, Namo Buddhaya. With the down breath, Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. With the up breath, Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Just focus up and down. Don't try to do anything, okay? Just picture your body from outside, how you're seated, relaxed. I hope you will have a comfortable posture. Like your body, how you picture it, how you are seated. I am seated with my robes on, bald head, cushion touching my back, and my mouth moving while talking. Just watch that. And pay attention to the sounds you're getting immediately. There's no sound now. The bird sound. Another bird sound. While listening to that, relax with your breath going out. Just find the relaxing position. Then just focus. The Buddha says, Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta. Buddha says, body is not yourself. He's talking to the 5 monks. Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta. Body is not yourself. Then you just note your body is there. He's telling your body is not you. Rupancha hidam bhikkhave atta. Why is it not you? Abadaya sangvatteya. It is subject to affliction. Yeah, we don't want to have cough, cold, chicken pox, but we do have. We don't want old age, graying hair, but it happens. Labbeta cha rupe, evam me rupam hotu, evam me rupam ma hositi. May the body be like this, may the body not be like that. It doesn't follow orders. May I be thin, may I be fat, or may I not get old, not die. It doesn't follow orders. Silently think, this happens to my body. So can it be my body? Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, all the mental factors of feeling, perception, the sound from the ears, the noticing of the cars, these are feelings, perceptions. Vedana, Vijnanam chidam bhikkhave atta. It is not yours. Why is it not yours? The mental factors. Subject to affliction. So think, sometimes you want this sound, that feeling, but it will not come. Subject to affliction means actually, sometimes you can't hear. You get so old. Labbeta cha vijnane, evam me vijnanam hotu, evam me vijnanam ma hositi. Buddha says, when you order the feelings or consciousness to be like this, like that, it doesn't follow your orders. Like you want to have this sound now, or this sound to have not to have this sound. Sometimes it is there. Then if it's not in your control, it can't be you. You have to relax and think about it. Use your brain to think about this slightly. And just like you're letting go any kind of feelings you're getting, feel relaxed then. It's not my feelings. Rupam bhikkhave nityang va nityang vati. Next contemplation is, body is permanent or impermanent, the Buddha asks. To answer him, say you're in front of him. You have to think, after a long time or some time, this body will definitely perish, finish, end. There's nobody who was there forever, even Muhammad Ali or whatever, such a fit person. Then to answer him, you know, oh, it's impermanent, anityam bante. Then what is impermanent, Buddha is asking, is happiness or sadness? It's definitely, even if it's the best person you meet, the best body, if it's going to finish and change, it's going to be sad. Even if you get a Deva body, God body, that also, if bound to finish, is sad. Anityam bante. Yampana anityam. If it's impermanent and suffering, can you call it is mine, myself? No hetam bante, no. So with this you just let go of mentally any experiences. The other contemplation is Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana, body, feelings, perceptions, whatever we call ourselves, whether it is in the past, few moments ago, that is the past, or few years, future, whatever body we will get, more old or more young body, and the body we are having now, present body. Our body or bodies outside, gross body or a fine body. Then very coarse body or very refined body like a Devata or Brahma body. Netam mama, neso hammasmi, nameso attati. This is not mine, not myself. You think none of these bodies will be mine. Evametang yatha bhutang. This with wisdom, when you begin to perceive it more. Nibbindati, viracchati, nirodeti, nippananti. You feel dispassion, disgusted, detached. This is nibbana. Etang santam, etam panitam, sabba sankara samato, patinisako, tannakkayo, virago, nirodo, nippananti. This is peace, this is bliss. This particular ceasing, this bliss, may everybody in this room, may they get it. May who are here, they also like to get this peace of mind. May they all get this peace of mind. All who are in this compound, in this building, may they also get this. And all who are in Australia or Victoria, like you're going in a helicopter to Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, then, to Japan, Taiwan, and China, Russia. So many people there. They're all looking for happiness. They're all same human beings. May they get this peace in mentally. And India, thousands, lakhs of people. Sri Lanka. And then Mediterranean, Saudi Arabia, and Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all these human beings. Then Africa, Europe, North America, South America, the entire human beings in the planet, leaving nobody aside, may they get this peace, free from greed, hate, and delusion. Not only human beings, all animals, creatures, the demons, Preta, Bhutas, then Vetarani, the lower sad worlds, Paduma, lower sad worlds, and Avicchya, the lowest sad or hell worlds. May they get a human birth and follow this noble path. Not only those beings, then the divine worlds, Chatu Maharajika, Tavatimsa, Tusita Yama, the angelic worlds, and the Brahma Lokas, the higher who have meditated and gone, Brahma Purohita, Brahma Parsacha, they don't have much greed, hate. They have delusion, a feeling of self, an idea of I. May that fade away from their mind. Until the highest world systems, you picture them like from outside and wish them like your babies. May they be free, like a big mother, that they are free from suffering. All the world systems, from the lowest to the highest. Matthew, Pitarami, kata Buddhang sana chuttadala Kailashika. You can continue. All the world systems, like ants, picturing them. They are having the same makeup, same suffering. Buddha's infinite compassion to all the world systems, not only to humanity, the universal impermanence, not just impermanence of human beings, even the devatas and the gods and the Brahmas. Raya Master, fully enlightened, or fully enlightened. He's not just a material scientist or something. He's the scientist of the cosmos. May you always think of that Master, the great remover of suffering. Reflect on him. Whatever difficulties you have, just say his name even. That great force of compassion will definitely pervade your lives, remove all obstacles, and may you reach that final goal out of all worry and fear to highest peace, Nibbana. May the great Master, as a pupil of him, give them this strength, suffering for the beings. Buddha Madhave, Vahanse. Think of his infinite compassion, all the world systems. His blessings, his force is still working. When he was born, all the world systems, the light spread, a hope for being redeemed from all suffering. May his teachings again become alive, practical, giving peace and solace to many beings as possible, so that nobody will go to a state of suffering, but will go from happiness to happiness, to highest peace, Nibbana. Buddhassa loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati hasokam virajankema hetam mangalam uttama. May all sorrow fades away and the bright mind of knowledge, detachment, discrimination come to your mind without any delay. Be free from any turbulence, being like a diamond, unshaken, with the true vision, nature of seeing the truth of all phenomena, anitya, dukkha, anatta, not me, not mine, not myself. These thoughts are not me, not mine, not myself. This body is not me, not mine, not myself. Evametang yata bhutang. When you see this with more wisdom, nibbindati virajyati nirodheti. Devtan Mahansala, Aryan Mahansala, ආයි මේ පොළවේ පෙරම් පුරාගෙන මේ අහිංසක සත්‍යයට පිහිට වෙන්න වඩින්න පුතේ. ඒ උත්තම ශ්‍රීපාද ආයි නිෂ්ක්ලේශී චිත්ත බලය. උත්තමයන් වහන්සේලා නිෂ්ක්ලේශීව Buddha Mata to save them. May I not have any difference. You can put Kailasha.
No.